Max, what's this gold locks on the side of your head?
This is my hair. I think people are gonna say I'm wearing a wig or something, but they just don't realize that this is my actual hair.
I mean, you always got to have one, and you got it always tied up. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah,
you going full hippie on us, boy. You going full hippie on us.
Yeah, I kind of have
to pull it back in a ponytail.
No, I don't do that. That's not.
You get some braids. Let's get you some braids up there. We get you down here. Get you some braids. You look top notch. But I will say this, Max. It's good to be back with her. I will report this. I spent some time in Florida. I will safely report that I did not see any alligators. But
really,
I also not one alligator. I went up into the mountains of North Georgia, which was absolutely beautiful, hoping that I might see a bear or a mountain lion. No, nothing. But you know what I did see? A man eating an iguana that came out and attacked me at Mills Point and made me run and almost poop my pants.
Yeah, sounds about Florida.
That iguana was aggressive. He scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, lizards are kind of like that, I've heard.
Hey.
Luckily, no issue like that here in Finland. But actually, it fucking snowed today.
What?
Yeah.
Well, this is Finland. Hey, I kicked that tire, and that iguana jumped out of there, and I went, ah! And ran. It scared me. Anyway, you know what? We got a lot of catching up to do. There's been a lot of action in the RC world. I say we drop that intro and get talking as soon as I find it, because you know what? We got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about, and it's all RC related.
I love how you're just spending time trying to find the intro.
I know. You know, I probably need to not have the intro, which I still can't find, by the way. This.
Nitro is the glory, but Ebuggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this grabbing racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right. You know?
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about it.
Here we go. $100 right here, $100 throw. Oh no!
I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro is the glory, but Ebuggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 233 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great. And to my left, virtual left, is this dude with this long hair who I didn't know existed. The professor of everything. The arrogant one himself. The pisser off of nations himself. Maximus Mortimus. What's up, Max? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm kind of excited for SilverState. You know, I am too. It is gonna be. It's been a while since like a big race like this, so I'm excited again. And also, like, it's almost summer. Even though I said before it snowed, but it has been quite good weather. So I'm looking to go practice myself next week.
Ooh, racing stuff. Yeah, practice for you. Good stuff. It's been a while since we chatted. I was in America for 12 days on the NNRC South East tour. We're going to talk about that. We did have a guest this week, but I'm going to postpone that for the next week, just because I think we have a lot to catch up on over the last 12 days that I've been gone. We've had a couple of races as well. We've had some incidents in RC that's happened. We've had some people starting crap on Facebook too. I wonder who that is. Oh, maybe it's me. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. As you say, right now as we go on, it's Thursday. We have I was just looking at SilverState Ebuggy qualifying, just finished pro Ebuggy. Spencer Rifkin topped that. Spencer's looking good. He's got the flow. He top seeded yesterday and is doing pretty well out there. We got quite a lot. We got some Europeans going there. We have one Australian. Well, we have some Australians going there, but one of the Australians that I really want to see was Alex Bernardzak. And we got the Fullers looking really fast right now. So we're not going to obviously talk about SilverState too much. We're going to make our picks, talk about that. We're going to talk about the other races that have happened over the 12 days that I've been going, and just catch up on a few things. But before I do that, I have to say thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world, to all the people that I met in my travels these last couple of weeks. It's been awesome. Thank you for all the love that you showed us, and you, Max, and JQ, and the podcast in general. A lot of people like it. Like I said, not everybody likes you, and not everybody likes JQ, and probably some people don't like me, but they like the whole thing in general, and the reception that we get is very good from people. So good job to you, Max, and everybody that supports us. We greatly appreciate it. We honestly, we can't do this without you. So thank you. Shout out to the patrons of the podcast. You guys will get early release of this podcast, and all the YouTube members. Also, we cannot do this without sponsors, and they are Invisible Speed at High Tech RC, Sunpadal USA, Sidewinder, Fuel, Mayako, Beach RC, Techno RC, Clinic RC, Ignite Design RC, Racecraft USA, and we have a new sponsor. That's right, they are the sponsor of the Hot Race Hot Laps themselves. Hot Race sponsor, Hot Race Tires. Thank you to Nicola. Also, thank you to Robert who helped this come on. It's really cool. Like, this is one of our biggest sponsors we've had in a long time. Come on. They actually suggested the Hot Laps segment as well, so which is really cool. And I told them, yeah, we're going to do something like that. So we will have some hot laps, Max. So start thinking about that for the next few minutes. We don't want to post the questions because these are supposed to be off the top of our heads. So thank you to all of them, as well as shout out to my boy Dany Paz at WRC, Connie Spencer at House of RC. Shout out to David Ronafalk, who's enjoying the Caribbean, he's living his best life down there in Bakia at Phil's wedding. Man, I need to figure out how to get Phil to take me to Bakia so I can do a personal interview with him. That would be great. But congratulations to Phil and everybody on his marriage. Good luck to Jared Tebow out there in SilverState. Shout out to Robert Battier, who's probably jet lagged right now because I did talk to him. He was on the plane. And shout out to our good friend and now European, I can't remember, 8-time European champion, Alexander Hagberg. Also, I wanted to shout out to BJ Williams, who's been helping us out with the notes. Notes are great this weekend, BJ. BJ is an RC racer and regular submitter to the Beach Bench Racing unit. He's geeking out over SilverState right now. Let's hope, he's going through some tough times. He's just had a knee surgery, or is trying to get surgery on his knee. So there's a GoFundMe for BJ as well, and that's in the written description of this podcast. But yeah, it's we can't do this without the sponsors. We can't do this without you guys. If you guys want, there's links in the written description. They have coupon codes. Some of them have discounts. Some of them have affiliate links. Some of them have anything. But if you do buy the product, I'll just let them know that you heard about it on the NNRC. It really helps us out a lot. So yeah, I don't have any shout outs. I know I've missed people's birthdays. Happy birthday to everybody. That's the best way I can do it right now. It's been busy. I've been busy. I'm working on very little sleep. I haven't even caught up from the weekend. It was 12 days of go. I'm knackered. And the thing is, I don't have much time. I'm out of here again on Tuesday to Portugal. Can't wait. Was talking to not y'all Figueredo, but the gentleman putting in one. They got some big plans over there. International Buggy Challenge 2003. I'll be there next week. We'll have coverage up. Check it out. Watch some of the best races in Europe race. And I can't wait to get there, man. I'm really excited about that. My first real big European race. I went to the Worlds, but this is like a European race. Like strictly European race.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different always. Like when it's EFRA, IFMA race, or then if it's a private, organizer. Mm-hmm. It's a very different atmosphere, to be honest, especially in America, but in Europe too. Definitely in Europe too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really happy to be going to that. Knock off Portugal off one of the countries that I've wanted to go to for a long time. Eat some good Portuguese food, And probably come back about 10, 15 pounds heavy. I don't need to be 10, 15 pounds heavy. I need to be 10, 15 pounds lighter. But hey, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. All right, Max. I think, like I said, we have a guest. It's recorded, but it's not going to be this week. It's going to be in the following week or when I get back from IBC. But as you guys know, I went on a small tour of the Southeast over the last 12 days. This kind of happened quickly as well. Thank you to Lance McDonald, who made this happen, and Dany Paz, who also made this happen. Let me stay at his house. I'm sure his roommates don't like me because I probably snored too much. But it was 2 weekends full of RC, man. More than 2 weekends. So I just wanted people to know I went up there for the Florida RC Championships, which are held at Mills Pond. That's Lance McDonald's series that he has in Florida, which is super popular. Like, I did a walkabout with it. Oh, man. I have to say this. Like, Lance has something really good going on with that. And the people, like, look, the people, like, he's done it for about 2 years now, I think. And the people that come to these races know the rules. It's none of that, oh, can you please go out and turn marshal? It's like, you turn marshal, or he said, here's my rule. If you don't turn marshal, you're kicked out. That's it. No, but docking a lap or nothing. If you don't turn marshal, you're kicked out. I like that because as soon as people were done, they went out and turn marshal, right? If you needed volunteer turn marshals for somebody that maybe couldn't do it, he would always like give them something. Hey, I'll give you a T-shirt if you go out there and marshal. So people are quick to go out and marshal and stuff like that. People loved it. People were setting up Thursday. This is a 1-day race. You can practice Friday, right? But you can practice Sunday morning, Saturday morning, but people were there Thursday. And I got there Thursday and I was like, wow, I think I'm at a big race type of field because everything started, people were coming in. But what it is, people look forward to these races and they like what Lance is doing and they go for the atmosphere. They're hanging out. They make it a 3-day race and it's supposed to be a 1-day race. And I'm telling you, like, people are there and people are smiling. They're having fun. And man, they honestly, shout out to all the Southeast, to the Florida like racers, man. They showed me so much love. I mean, I know a lot of them, but I met new ones, and I saw like it was great, man. It was like this is my second time at Mills Pond too. I would say, and I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. I got to see some young talent that's coming up. I got to see some friends like. I'm there hanging out with guys that I knew in Colombia, like, that I met in Colombia, like Juan Jose Sarna's up. And let's put it this way. Mills Pond is like the mecca for Latino racing. If you're Latino from South America and all that stuff, you go to Mills Pond. That's where you go because it's like, guys speak Spanish. I remember I had to do an interview, right, with Carlos Sigui. And I'm like, you don't speak English real good? He's like, no. I said, all right, cool. I can do it in Spanish. So I'm doing an interview in Spanish. And all that stuff. So that's what Lance brought me up to do. He brought me up to do interviews and help Dany out with the stream, right? Well, Dany has all the stream under control. I just went out and did interviews and, went around and hung out with people and talked to them and whatever I could do, I try to help out. And Lance has a good crew, man. He had Patrick there to fill in for him and he doesn't want to do when his voice is going or he needs a break. He has people that come in and help him pack up. Oh, this is something he has too. So he has like VIP pits, right? They're sponsored by Techno, I believe. So Techno sent him tents. So he sets up for this. You pay up like $20 more. You get a table, chair. You earn like a tent set up. You get snacks, water. Have a refrigerator where you can get all that stuff. So all you have to do is show up and bring your cars. That stuff sells out like that.
Yeah, I think, Lance is kind of it's weird because I haven't heard of many other, clubs or series doing it like Lance does it in his series. But that's kind of like he just like on his own created almost everything we've been talking about.
Yes.
On the atmosphere of what was like, oh, it's not gonna work, it's gonna do that and that, and then he has the most popular series in that region, and he does like everything we've been talking about, and then like stuff like that you said. I wouldn't even have thought of it, but that's like a great idea, because
yes,
then you pay for what you want to get, and I think that's also like some people want that they can pay it and they like to pay it. So yeah, of course. And then yeah, I kind of like I didn't know much of the series before, but now talking to you about it and then following it a bit more this winter, seeing it's been sold out almost every round. I think every round sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
it
think
opens up today as we're talking about this too. May the force be with you, by the way, Max.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think like basically I think it's gonna like the style of racing he does and like the series on its own. I think it's gonna be, a big thing, even bigger than it is now in the future.
And you can only race 2 classes.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's not. He was upset that it went to like 10:30. He's like, I'm usually out of here by 10 because he runs a tight. And let me tell you, he puts a lot of emphasis on the coverage with Dany. Dany's out there taking pictures so people can go find the pictures of their cars or pictures of them, and they put it up in their race reports, professional pictures. And then Dany's out there doing the video, and then he had me down there doing in the pits and all this stuff. Dude, Dany is one of the smartest people I've met. Now, JQ is one of the smartest people. He's the dumbest smart person I've met, right? But Dany is very smart and not dumb. He's very common. He's got lots of common sense. He's super smart, and he doesn't get frustrated. He figures out how to do things. I'm like, I would be good nuts. And he's just like, no, we fix this and we work on this and we work on that. And for what he does with one person is super impressive. Like I say to him, and here's the thing, he has a regular job.
Yeah.
Like he does this full time and has a regular job. He's got a really good his full-time job's actually very interesting too. I don't know if he wants me to talk about that, but it's like it's to do with aviation. But yeah, man. And then Lance isn't like just show up and he's got his microphone. He brings everything. So I think what he's got is really good. The people that were there, like the people and this is the other thing. People care about the points.
Really?
They care about the points. Because people are like, oh, if I finish this way, I'll be in this. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, yeah, this is everything I want on the pro side of RC right here in Florida. In this little, well, it's a decent sized community, but in this little community.
How many people were there?
I don't know, but it was probably 100 people. If it's 200, it was 240 entries or whatever, so it's 120 people.
Yeah, because you can only run. I mean, it's probably more than 120 because some.
Because families come.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, man. Walking around, just talking to people. Like I met so many people that just said, "Hey, man, thank you for what you do. You helped me get through this, or you helped us." Talking about the podcast, you helped us get through this time of my life, this part of my life. Or I didn't realize that RCs can be cool too. Thank you for what you do. So. Shout out to all those people that came up and shook my hand. Got to see some nice, fast, young talent there in Florida on the 8 scale side. It's been some time. Obviously, like I think the fastest in Florida right now is like between Julian and Trent. They're super fast right now. And Trent won pro. He actually won. Patrick Russell was there too, and he was fast. But Trent was able to beat him. Patrick has some issues, but Trent was still able to beat him.
What about, wasn't there one other J-Concept driver who lives in Florida? I'm blanking on his name now.
There were a few, but they're all not racing no more. Like I'm thinking of like Justin Fales, AJ Marasco, Jackson Brunson, Lee Satzer. All them guys used to race in Florida, but none of them. Well, Lee lives up in Virginia now. He races up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But one thing actually I wanted to bring up was I think people kind of overlook. Like we get a lot of questions of, what's going to happen to like American young talent and stuff like that. And I think people kind of overlook the importance of series like this, very good regional series that have, consistent high level racing and, at different tracks too. Like I bet in the next 5 years, as long as Lance keeps doing this series, there'd definitely be a few really, really talented young drivers out of Florida.
I'm about to name some. I'm about to name some that you need to look out for. Miller Freud. I also met him, I think, at Carpet Nats. He's looking really fast. There's a young kid named Nico Parra. He's Colombian, but lives there. And there's another young Puerto Rican kid named Gabriel Santiago who was really fast. That really caught my eye on there. And this is what I'm going to tell you. Go into these races like this race and then to the North Georgia Shootout. I really got to see young talent that you don't really see get spotlighted because we're always focused on the pros at these races. So they had a little chance to show themselves off. And that's what I would almost say this was like a talent scout trip. Like I got to see talent that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, but I don't think it's only that because big races are very different, especially like something like PMB. If you're like a 12-year-old kid and you have a qualifier at like 11 p.m., you're not going to do as well, and also like DNC, you race maybe once every 6 hours at best. So like for kids, that's a lot more difficult, In general, kids need more time on the track because they don't have the experience or how to, they don't have the thought process of, oh, there's a bump, I need to do this, because they use their like feelings and instinct and talent before, they get older and they have like more brain capacity to do all those things. So having these series where you actually get some practice, your schedule, you don't go too late. Like this actually gives much more benefits to the kids and they get like positive reinforcement as well because they can show what they can do.
Exactly.
So I think that's also one thing people overlook a lot. Like it's not any sort of surprise that as soon as, a few kids out of California start to do well, like as soon Camden Lime is doing well racing JBRL, and then like Walker Spinrad's doing better. Like all of these drivers out of California, like who race in the California area are starting to do better when like they all get a little better. Same with like the Fullers. They race around, like I believe they race pretty close to Van Dalen. And I think Tebow goes around there to race sometime. So like they have an area where there's at least a few fast drivers and then they pick up the game. But some areas where they don't have, like someone like Ogden, he's really good. But to be honest, he's never really had that much, close competition in his area. And I think that's one big thing why, he probably, didn't live up to hasn't lived up to the talent he, in my opinion, it could have, So
I think was good this weekend. He was good last weekend at North Georgia.
Oh, for sure. And I think, but I think in general, just because this is a topic we discuss a lot. We discuss how we get better young American talent. This is 100% the way to do it. 100%. There's no doubt about it. That's the core thing why there's so many talented young Italians. They have a really high level Italian national series. Same with Spain. Same with the UK. That's like the key component. Like you have a lot of high quality racing.
You have a point
close to you.
You have a very good point. I now even looked at it, the serious side of things, making it better.
Yeah.
And you have a very good point. And I'm not saying that there aren't any other good series races around America. I'm just saying this is the one I got to go to and experience. And I think what Lance is doing is, and he's super experienced in what he's doing. And when I say he brings everything, he brings everything. When we went to the North Georgia Shootout, he bought everything, even his own speakers, TVs, stands, everything. It's not just showing up with a microphone. He's bringing a whole production. He's bringing a whole production to this race. So
how much, by the way, how much is the entry fee for one class?
35, but he's 30 or 35, I think, but it's up and back to 40. And
okay, so think of this, like just you go to a big event. Generally these days, the entry fee for two classes is like $230, something like that. It's over $100.
Let's say it's $100 entry.
Okay, yeah. So you're paying $200, and you get 3 qualies, maybe a few, like maybe 10 to 15 minutes of practice. You get 3 qualies, or worst case scenario, 2 qualies, and then a 10-minute main. Versus, and you stay there for 3 days, by the way. So you have to pay for hotels and all that. And yeah, there's good atmosphere. But then again, you pay, even if it's $50, so you pay $100 for 2 classes, and you get exactly the same amount of, track time. You have still good atmosphere. You have perfect schedule. You don't have to stay late at the track. Like, what is more worth for your money? And I'm not saying like you shouldn't go to big races, but I think people like should see the value smaller races offer. And I think like long term, it's better if you have good regional series than a few big races.
I agree. Also, I believe, if I'm not correct, all A finals were 30 minutes. Yeah. And I think they had double, if I'm not correct, I could be wrong, but I think they might have double mains for electric. But the most important thing is that people, when I walked around, you talk to people, and they just say, hey, man, 8-scale racing is booming for a reason in Florida, and that's because of Lance and what he's doing here. And obviously, 100%. And people love what Dan is doing as well. So that was excellent. We finished up late Saturday night, packed up. Dany doesn't live too far from it, but we were getting up at 4:00 to go make the 3-hour. I think we got up at 5 to make the 3-hour trip to the Carpet Nationals because Clayton had asked us to come up. Dany wanted to take some pictures. He had to do a few things. And I was going to go up there and just do the after. I just wanted to go watch the races, right? And whatnot. So we woke up early. But before I go into the Carpet Nationals, I just want to say thank you to everybody that I met at the Florida RC Championships and that showed us some love. I hope to be back. I think what Lance has going on is absolutely great. I think he also is about the racers. So, and everybody gets paid, by the way. So everybody gets paid. The track gets paid. The people that work for Lance gets paid. Everybody goes home happy that way. People also get prizes. They had a good race. He has a banquet at the end of this where he gave away. He gave away so much stuff. Like he really does do this for the people. And that's as far as concerned. I want to say this. We did have we had this guy, Mr. Steve. He was an older gentleman. And that's the other thing. I met a lot of new people that are just getting into RC at this series. Yeah, I met a lot of people at this series and at the race in Georgia, just getting into RC. So it's a group of people. It was Gene, his wife Amber, this lady, a lady that's almost 50 that just discovered RC. Oh, I forgot her name. She was but she's Toco Loco is her YouTube. I know I should remember her name because I talk to her so much, but I'm so bad with names. Doing RC on her own, dude. Nitro and Ebuggy. And they all, and her, and then it's another older gentleman, Mr. Steve, who's very older, who just started. They all travel together to these races. Like they all race in the same area and they all go to these races. And poor Mr. Steve, the ambulance had to come pick him up on Sunday. Saturday, he wasn't feeling too well. But I can say that he's doing a lot better from what I was told. But the community, like just everybody enjoying each other and coming together as an RC community is what I really enjoyed. And shout out to all the Mills Pond guys, because that track was underwater the week before we got there because they had all that rain and flood in there. And them guys got it in order. It did get rough, but I liked it like that. And shout out, and I met like a lot of those guys that I didn't know before and a lot of guys I knew before. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to Jonathan Hernandez, who I found out was an expert boat racer, and you know that. And he actually like, yeah, I saw you with that Rico Ho. I used to race for Rico. Like, I started geeking out on boats with him. But I just had a very good time. I think between Friday and Saturday, I just walked around and talked to everybody. It was insane. I loved it, and I had such a great time. And I want to say thank you to Lance for bringing me there, and thank you to everybody that paid a raffle ticket or bought a raffle ticket to help me get there. Waffle ticket, whatever we say. It was a great. If you have on the fence, you should check it out. Go if you have in Florida, sign up and go check it out. You won't regret it. And I'll be honest, man, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go out of that area as well and go to different regions. And I'll be honest with you, man, if I see things going like this, I can see this. I know this is a big dream, but I can see this being a nationwide type of thing. And then we can actually have an actual ranking system. Like, but that's big dreams. But right now, what it's got going is super good. I enjoyed it. And it was grassroots racing at its best. That's the best way I can explain it. People having fun, grassroots, young talent out there. And like, it was like some of these guys that listen to the podcast, right? So they're like, oh, I'll find out who they are and I'll go, hey, man, that's good. Like, just I want to know who they are, because one thing that interests me is young talent, because we need more of that in RC. So I encourage that. And I encourage those guys to keep on racing, because we need you. We need you. So the Sunday, carpet nets. I think we need to play a commercial before we talk about carpet nets. So as you guys know, I am off to Portugal next weekend for the International Buggy Challenge. I'll be doing my coverage on the NNRC, as well as working with the stream. I want to thank y'all, Figueredo, and everybody, y'all Soares, everybody involved in this race for getting me out here. I hope you guys follow this next week as we watch some of the best in Europe race. Thank you, y'all, Duras, for getting me there. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to be in Portugal. Hope you guys follow that. All right. Carpet Nationals. Woo. So I got up there just in time for all the drama. I was so excited. So I got the carpet nets. Obviously I've been to Beachline before for carpet championships. Last year, this was a Raw event. So we walk in and it's like, it's like people are like, excited to see us. We walk in, I think just as short course is racing, and I'm watching a father and son battle each other in short course. Like the Shermans, and Mr. Sherman just messaged me like a couple of days. He says, "After I'm down here in Dominican Republic. Where are you?" I said, "I'm still in America." He's just down here for a day for the cruise. This is an older gentleman, right? Him and his son Tom, and I just call him Team Sherman, right? They raced together. And so they were battling each other in short course, and then the old man won. And I got there just in time. I was interviewing. He is so excited. And he goes, "Yeah, my son's got the national title on dirt, but I've got the national title on carpet now." And that was so cool to see. And they won it. And then, I got there just in time. The stock. So as soon as I get there, I heard a rumor right off the bat. So, like, I heard that they're going to protest Dany Chavez, right? I heard this as soon as I get to the race. Oh, did you hear? I was like, what? They're going to protest Dany Chavez for his motor and for Slauson, because he was fast. He won. By the way, congratulations, Dany Chavez. He won two-wheel drive, stock, and mod in A1 and A2. Ooh. So anyway, he goes out there. He wins A1, right? Dominates. Kills everybody in A1. Does the same thing, I think, in A2. Maybe a little bit challenging. And four-wheel drive is a little different. He had some competition. He was really good. He drives Schumacher. Just switched over to Schumacher. This is his home track. He's going to be fast, right? He's going to be fast. So four-wheel drive A2 was a bit up more of a challenge. This kid, Nate Sutherland, was challenging TLR driver, because these are the people that are going to, TLR is supposedly the people that's going to protest, right? Oh my gosh. So they have an epic battle. Chavez wins. You heard the TLR camp is not happy about this. They're calling him a cheater, they're on this stuff. So it's Jeff Stacks, who's a TLR guy, right? I think they're the ones who filed I don't know, but I think somebody had to file a protest. One person had to file. So as Chavez is coming out to do his interview with me, Chavez's camp and Stacks' camp and the TLR camp start bickering. And I'm just like, woo! I love Pink Pinion stock racing. It has all the drama that I want in RC. Awesome. Hey, I was like, this made the whole trip worthwhile. Just coming up here. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, they did protest his motor. They did protest, I think, saucing of tires, but they didn't find anything. And he's the two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive champion. And then, like, I wasn't even too worried about mod after that. I was just like, this is so awesome. But Rivkin won two-wheel drive. He was just fast. And then him and Fenn had a really good battle in truck where they even touched and all that stuff. And I thought that was cool. And then Fenn was just dominant in four-wheel drive. And I guess him and Rivkin split that. Rivkin goes home the two-wheel drive champion, and Fenn goes home four-wheel drive and truck champion. But it was okay. Clayton was out there and he was doing the interviews, and as soon as he saw me, he's like, "Do you want to do interviews?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do them." He's like, "Good, because this isn't my forte." So I went up there and I said, look, we're not going to stay all day because it's a 3-hour drive. Dany went up there and took pictures. And yeah, we kind of just walked in, said hello to everybody, did our thing. And then it was like, hey, we got to go. It's a long drive. We was tired too. So we went back home and yeah, we got to see carpet nets too. Cause that was the thing, like get these races, like go up to carpet nets, see that. We took 2 days off. And then Wednesday was the trip to North Georgia, which I didn't realize was going to take 13 freaking hours.
What?
Yes.
13? How is that possible?
Dude,
from
this
North
is like,
Carolina, right?
We were closer. No, from Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Like,
okay.
We was far away. Dany lives in Fort Lauderdale, so we had to drive from there to Lance's, which is in Lake City, because we was going to have Lance in his truck because he's towing the camper. So that's 5 hours right there. So we drove up, and then Lance, we packed the camper, loaded all that stuff, loaded. Patrick Rossiter came. He bought about 5 OGO bags full of stuff because he was racing. Packed all that stuff in. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I mean, Dany has a lot of stuff. And then Lance has all this stuff. And I'm just like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. Like his bed of his truck's full, the camper's full of stuff. And then we made the trip up to North Georgia. And I must say, that was fun. I really like working and traveling with Lance and these guys. It was fun. We got up there probably around 10 Wednesday night. They were still building the track. So this race is put on by Mark Moon, Brian Burnett. It's in the Raybon Arena. It's their second race of this. They did one last year called the Peach State. It's an open arena, but it's literally on a mountain. It's on a mountain. Like you're up on a mountain and you can see the other mountains. It's absolutely beautiful up there. It is beautiful. Some of you didn't see the pictures that I posted. So we got there, it was rainy. It was like, ooh, it's supposed to rain the entire weekend, right? So we got there, it was not the best day. I was actually sick. So Thursday, I don't know. I'm still not 100%. Thursday, I kind of felt better and I was out and about. And that's, people are coming and I ended up sleeping for about 5 hours in the camper because I was just not feeling well. I stayed with Trent, Jake, and Andy Kirk, Jake Laskus. So I want to say thank you to those guys because the camper was full. And they rented a little Airbnb cabin just up the mountain a little bit. Beautiful. Like a little cabin with a loft. Thank God I would have never been able to get up in that loft because it wasn't factory friendly. Let's put it that way. So I had to sleep on an air mattress, and that was fun. I actually fell out of the air mattress one night.
How did you do that?
I filled it up, right? I filled it up, and then I didn't turn the thing all the way, so it was leaking a little bit of air. But I didn't know this. So like halfway through the night, it's going on or just down a little bit. And I went up to go use the bathroom and I went to turn and it just went whoop, right from underneath me. And I just boom. And this is like 4 a.m. and I'm just like, wow. And then everybody goes, we heard when you fell out. We thought somebody attacked hit the door, hit the wall, or knocked the door. So I would just say like air mattress and me, they're not really, well, I don't know. Like we're not really got a good relationship going on here. Even though it was a nice air mattress, but I got to stay with them. It was up in the woods. It was beautiful. I didn't see any bears, unfortunately, but it was a good time with them. So this race here it's more of a laid back feeling. And this race had, I would say it's more of a regional big race. It had people from around America there from different parts, but it's not on the, I would say it's not in the prestige level of, say, a PNB or anything like that. It's more like a regional race, regional big race. But it had a good, so this is what I liked. The practice schedule was in blocks. Lance put it in blocks.
How you mean like open practice, but in blocks?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been saying. A race time.
I thought you had said that. So he tried it out this time. He did blocks and then he did open practice in the end. So you did blocks. So if you ran sportsman, you ran from this time to this time, right? Yeah. So the lines were less. You was racing with racing with people. You had 2 hours. Let's say you had 2 hours. I can't remember the exact time. Mm-hmm. Sportsman had 2 hours. You can run whatever you want in that 2 hours, but you still had to come down to Marshall, go up, come down to Marshall, and it kept the lines on. And it did that for intermediate and pro. And then after that, they left it open to like 10 a.m. And people pretty much said we prefer it in blocks.
Oh, 100%.
Everybody
of course.
said they preferred it in blocks.
Yeah, and you can also block it even tighter. So you can say, you can do it sort of 2 hours is for sportsmen, and then you kind of do like, okay, so the first, like if let's say there's 30 people in sportsman truggy, you do like 15 minutes for sportsman truggy, then you do 15 for sportsman buggy, 15 for e-truggy, and 15 for buggy, and then you rotate that each hour. So then you can get, like, if you run all 4 classes, then basically you're just running the whole time. But if you run just one class, you get, okay, I ran at an even hour, and then I ran at the next even hour. And especially at race like PMB, you can like easily do that. Or
well,
like
I think we're going to see this. I think we're going to see this was the first time they tried it. That Lance tried it. Very happy with it. The racers were happy with it. So I think we're going to see something like this at PMB or the future race time events, but maybe full blocks, like the whole practice in blocks, no open practice. And I think it went smooth. I think it was good. And yeah, if I could do 2 thumbs up, I do. I'll give you 2. 1, 2. So you like that in it. That was good. And then I think Saturday was qualifying. So Saturday was the longest day. I think we went to just under 9, maybe just over 9, which is good. This race had all the same classes. It had a 15 and under class, which I liked. So they ran whatever, and it was full. It wasn't like it was 6. It was like 3 or 4 50. It was full, a full heat. Like, they had 4x4 short course, 2 heats of 4x4 short course, which was amazing. I haven't seen this in a long time. The track was very nice. Mr. Burnett put in a very nice layout. Lots of very hippie jumps, like where you have to turn in the air and all that stuff. It did get blown out a little bit in certain areas, but that's to be expected. The area where it's at is decent. You kind of have to, so the area around the track isn't as big. So you have limited, and it rained and it was muddy in areas, but usually people would, on either end of the track, would set up pits and all that stuff. It also has a top part where they have camper hookups, and they have like animal stalls where people pitted, but that's like up a hill and you gotta go up and down. The top drivers that were there were Cole Ogden and Aiden Horn. He made the trip. And I would say Little Bump was there as well. So they had 3 decent talents, and then lots of talent from the Southeast area, and that area that came. One in particular that really caught my eye was Jonah Wilson. Heard this name quite a lot, but actually got to watch this young, 16 years old, and I will tell you, this kid is fast. He is fast. And I think he needs to be getting out to like some of these West Coast races as soon as possible. He was fast. Very fast. So that was cool. Cole was fast. Cole, these type of races for Cole is kind of chill out and just, here's the James Hunt of RC, man. Come, party, have a good time, and race. So he did well. Who else? Oh. I have something to talk about because we have to talk about the Traxxas thing, but we'll talk about that later. Because Trent ran a Creighton in e-truggy and was competitive as fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've been trying to, because I work quite closely with Hobby Factory, a Finnish hobby shop who is the distributor for Arma vehicles. So I've been trying to, because I'm like, I don't know if people know this, but I'm kind of organizing the national series as well as a club race series in Finland. So I've been trying to work a way to market the Typhon to race in the open Finnish Open series is what I'm gonna call it, for club racing. So basically, you'd buy a semi-basho vehicle and then race it in the club racing series. So this is sort of a bridge to get people into racing. And the thing is, the 6S Typhon, the parts they use is from the DNX8, which Lutz made the world's final, even like was really fast at one point with it. I think he finished on a podium at Royal Nats, or at least the 4th or 5th, something like that. So basically the car is really good, and the quality is good. So I feel like Traxxas doesn't really have similar products, but Arma really has good ones for racing, and I've been trying to find a way to incorporate that into the club.
We'll talk about the Traxxas thing in a bit, right? Because I want to talk about that. But he raced the Creighton, the Truggy. Yeah, he came, I think he podiumed as well. He got fifth. Yeah. But the thing is, I said I knew when your truck was coming by. I could hear it. It was sound like Santa Sleigh. It was like because it was dinging. Yeah. But I don't think he had stock electronics in it. But I will say this: there were two guys racing in the sportsman class that were racing the Typhoons.
Yeah, and that's like the only not optimal thing is the servo. The electronics are good enough. The servo is like the only not good one. Otherwise, that thing is solid. I've seen people drive it, and I even drove a few of them before.
Okay. So they are also solid. So also at this race, another thing I noticed, like I said in Mills, this race was a lot of people's first big race, and a lot of people that I talked to had just gotten into RC about a year ago. Very good to see, excellent to see. It was hopeful. I'll never forget. I saw this guy, and he's wearing a captain's hat. It's a bronze skin guy, and I'm like, look at this guy. You know how you just look at? He's wearing a captain's hat, he's riding around on 4-wheel. I'm saying this guy's Dominican. Like in my brain, I'm saying this guy's gotta be Dominican because he's like I know how Dominicans love the 4 wheels. He's got a captain's hat. Only a Dominican's gonna pull that off, right? So he was there, and so I'm like, I asked one guy, so what's up with this guy's captain's hat? And it's like, I don't know, it's got a not as always wears it. So I just started talking to the guy, sure as shit. Yeah, man, my dad's from Higüey, and I'm like, I knew he was Dominican. Anyway, we became friends. But yes, man, just lots of new people. Lots and lots of new people. A-Man was there. So I don't know if I told you this, but after P&B, before I went to Mike and I were going to the airport, and he goes, hey, you know what? We should go on a tour of A-Man. And I said, okay. So what I've noticed is that A-Man's been in a lot more races. They were at DNC, and then the guy Troy, who does like the social media, he was at PNB. So we got to talking. He's like, yeah, and then he introduced himself, because I didn't know who he was. I didn't meet him at DNC, and we got to talking, just talking. And he says, look, if you ever need anything, just let me know. And I said, all right, cool. So I said, look, like I would like to go on I'm her. I might as well go see. I wanted to see what the new A-Man thing looked like, right? So he hooked it up for me to go. He lives in Vegas. He doesn't live in North Carolina. So he hooked it up with this guy, Drew, to go. Drew Race is his name. He's all about e-trucking. Nice guy. So he met us there, and they took us on a tour. That place is huge, 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 huge. So him and this guy, Frank, who is like a professional helicopter pilot, these guys are all discovered like off-road racing. New. Yeah. Right? So the other, like with the A-Man tents and all that stuff, oh man, I felt so bad for the guy, Frank. Like his battery died in e-truggy, and his man, I thought he lost his soul. Like, you know what I mean? He was so upset. But it's good. Like these guys are all new to racing. They're all new. They've been racing around the Carolinas, and this is like the first decent sized race. I remember shouting on to Drew. I said, Drew, you ain't seen real speed yet. You ain't gonna see it because this, when I talk about real speed, I'm talking about like Mayfield and Fan, all that guys got together. And just cool guys. We got to talk to them. Met this guy, Mike Tudor, super cool dude. Just like, man, the people were nice, like really nice. Mark Moon and them guys, they gave away a lot of stuff. It was a nice little race. It wasn't too big. It was comfortable. People seemed to enjoy it. Yes, it has some bugs like any race that need to be fixed, but I think everything went smooth. It was in a beautiful, I must admit, it did get really cold on Sunday. It was weird. The sun was out and the wind was blowing. It was like DNC weather. That's what I would say. It's like California weather. It's in a beautiful location. It is a little town, so things close early. So you gotta kind of go eat early and stuff like that. But I had a great time up there. Did a lot. Oh man! Once again, working with I was doing a lot of the moving cameras. So sorry, everybody. It probably wasn't the best camera work, but I was actually moving the camera across my body like this because Dany had it set up. Like I said, Dany, in the future, when you set up the cameras, remember, I don't have a left arm. So everything has to be on the right. So I'm like touching the thing here, doing this. So I spent all Saturday just doing moving camera because he was so busy, right? He was busy taking pictures, then he had to edit, and then he had to do other stuff. And then Sunday, I spent most of the day doing that and interviews. Oh man, I was so busy. Oof. I think when I got home Monday night, so we left on the Monday morning, right? We got home like 10 o'clock Monday night. Dude, I'm so tired. I'm so tired still. My knees are, man, I went up and down that bloody ramp so many times. I mean, I need the exercise, right? But Jesus, it was a lot of work, man. And it was a lot of work, man. It was, doing that stuff, bringing all that equipment there, doing all that stuff, setting up like what Lance and Dany do, that is a lot of work. A lot of work. But kudos to everybody. It was a pleasure to go there. I enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody in the Southeast that showed the podcast some love, showed me some love. If you didn't get stickers, I'm sorry. I tried to give everybody stickers. I'll catch you in the next month. And man, I can't reiterate how good I think that the FRCC is. And yeah, I just racing in general in the Southeast is very healthy, very healthy. Lots of good talent coming, and lots of talent on the way. Very good to see. I'm probably missing some. Oh, Cody was there. Cody and Mitch came. Cody looked pretty decent too. He just needs to race more, like consistently. Maybe this will help him race more. He looked a lot more relaxed and like he's happy to be there. You know, Cody's very quiet, but he was there and I was teasing him. I was like, look, every morning, because you ain't been racing, you owe me a venti cappuccino, 4 sugars. Okay? Starbucks. And he just laughed. So it was good to see that. Good to catch up with Trent. Trent looked good too. One thing about Trent's nitro buggy looked spectacular at this race. It's weird.
Yeah.
At the Florida race, of course, I'm going to talk about at the Florida race, his nitro buggy wasn't as good. His e-buggy was great. But at this race, his e-buggy wasn't that good, but his nitro buggy looked great. And Cole looked good too. So that was the battle. Aiden had a good weekend. So him and Cole were battling in the A-man. It was a 45-minute A-man, right? By the way, everybody got double A-man. No, I'm lying. I think it was double A-mans and triple A-mans for electric. I could be wrong. So if you're using it, I don't know. Anyway, people got plenty of runtime.
Yeah.
Cole and Aiden had an epic battle in nitro buggy, like to the last corner. Coming over the loop. Yeah, so what happened, like Cole got out to a good lead and made a mistake, and the marshal didn't see him, so that allowed Aiden to catch up. And then Aiden and him just went back and forth for like the last 15 minutes of the race. And Aiden was there. He kept making all these mistakes. His car kept catching in those ruts and flipping. And dude, they came on to the last corner, and Cole was on the inside, and Aiden went wide and tried to, just like gun it and ended up going up and hitting somebody in pit lane by mistake. And Cole had to fight for that race, for that win. Like, you know what I mean? Aiden was coming. So he was, Aiden had a good weekend. He won e-buggy, e-truggy, pro truggy, and second in nitro buggy. Mind you, there wasn't any other, no real competition. Fee had a bad luck. He had mechanicals in his mains. But that kid, Jonah Wilson, he good. He is fast. He impressed me. Yeah, and now I'm home. Like, I got home at 4:00 in the morning on Wednesday. I'm tired. I haven't even had a good night's sleep yet. I know this is Thursday. And yeah, that was my adventures in the Southeast at these 2 races. I want to thank you, everybody that I met. Shout out to Mark Moon, Mr. Burnett, and everybody for their hard work putting on the North Georgia Shootout. I wish them all the luck in their next race. And I wish everybody all the luck in the next Florida RC Championships. Thank you for all the support that you showed the NNRC. We greatly appreciate it. And it really was good to see a bunch of new racers or newly racers that just found RC over the last year. Super good to see. Super good to see. So a bunch of guys, too, that I always see on Facebook, like D Nice and all these guys, Quinian. It was good to see. It was good to just meet all these people, man, and have a really good time and be a part of the production for that. And I am tired. That's all I can say about that. All right, Max.
You was pretty much living like RC life for the past 2 weeks, like only RC and nothing else.
Pretty much, and I'm a little bit sick, and I'm still sick. So I'm trying to get ready for Portugal. So I can't be sick. All right, Max. Let's go pay some bills and let's come back. We have some more things to talk about. We do have some other races to talk about. We do have the current SilverState race going on at the moment. And that's about it. Like I said, this is just a catch up for us. So with that said, let's pay some bills because we are sponsored by invisiblespeed.net. And this is not a new intro. This is not a new commercial. This is the same old commercial. No, the 20% off does not come for this. But if you want to find out more, we have links in the written description for the invisiblespeed.net course. Thank you to Invisible Speed for all the support. Also, High Tech RC. Well, Max, we might as well make that announcement now.
Yeah. As some of you may notice, if you're watching this on YouTube, I have a High Tech hat on. And that means I made an announcement earlier on in the week of thanking my previous service sponsor, but this year I'll be going with High Tech. Actually, I just received my servos in the mail last week.
Which servos did you get?
Let me see. It's 961 and 778. So okay. I've been using actually low profile servo for the throttle and brake, and Mike Walker, who kind of got me in talks with High Tech, he's been testing that as well, and yeah, I've been pretty eager to join. It actually, we talked about joining already before, but I still had a contract, and now finally I get to join High Tech, so it's really nice. And I'd like to thank Mike Mayberry as well. He's been really cool, and yeah. It's really nice to get to work with them, and pretty much everyone who runs them says they are like the most durable and like highest quality servos ever. And I think like they do a lot of testing on their own, and they really like what I've heard and what I talked about them. I think they go much more in depth than almost any other brand I've known about the quality of the servos. And yeah, I'm really pumped to be a part of High Tech. And yeah, now David also running High Tech. I think it's good to have, you know, more representation in Europe as well. I mean, they didn't really even have a proper European distributor before now. I think David and I are running, and yeah, definitely trying to spread the word in Europe as well. Because
High Tech is definitely pushing in the race world. Definitely.
Yeah, and that's something that, you know, what I got excited about, because they have the products, they have, in my opinion, the brand, and they have the quality. So all they need to do is make themselves known, you know.
Yep. I agree. Shout out to Mike Walker and Mike Mayberry for all their help. Very good people. If you guys want to know anything about or get any information about High Tech, just hit up any in the USA. Just hit up Mike Walker. He'll get you straight. And yeah, I am super happy with High Tech and all that they've done for the podcast. So thank you to High Tech RC for all of their help. All right. Let's go through some news here. We talked about the Florida RC Championships. King of Streets 3 happened this past weekend. Not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago. $21,600 won by Travis Bernard. I didn't follow this. I'm hearing this might be the last King of the Streets, though.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. I know. Shout out to my boy Tyler Zavadil. He actually had to do this out of a wheelchair this year because he had some problems with his back, so he's waiting to get a surgery for that. But he still pulled it off. It seems like it was a great event. I hope it doesn't go anywhere because this is the original King of the Streets and big money race. I hope it doesn't. But I'm hearing rumors that it might not happen again, which is unfortunate because this was the first race that happened, but it's looking good. It was held at the M Resort Spa and Casino in Henderson, Nevada. Obviously, it had over 200 entrants because the pot was 20. People get the pot, and I don't even know how many races Travis Bernard won, but he went home at $21,600. I think that's a good weekend of RC.
Yeah, that's a solid weekend, to be honest.
I would say. We had the NXC Grand Prix warm up, which was in Hellerod RC in Frederiksborg, Denmark. Hampus won this. Hampus TQ'd and won this.
Yeah, Hampus was doing really well. I talked to David about it. He had some issues in the main. He broke
I think his brake
link. He broke a brake link somehow. And but yeah, Hampus was pretty fast all through the weekend. And I think Hampus won, David second, and Elias Johansson was third.
Yes, I think this is the warm-up race. So the actual race is gonna happen in June. I actually think it's going to be a lot of talent from around Europe go into this. So.
100%. The Kilic brothers are going, I believe, and then obviously David and Hampus, there's lots of Swedish young talent as well. Like Elias Johansson is fast, and there's this really young Mayako driver Nils Gustafsson as well.
Yes.
And I believe some other German drivers are going as well, but Kilic brother at the very least. And so it's gonna be. This is one of those only like North European, international races at the moment.
Okay. We had the Philippine Masters this past weekend. I did not get to watch any of the coverage because I'm busy and I haven't watched it when I got home. But we do have the start of the A-Main. Scotty went over there. This is part of also the Asian Buggy Championship. This is the first of the series that they have in the next race is at the Pine Hills Dirt in Australia. Zach Ryan, Ben Panic, Aaron Dexter, Jack Parsley was fast on her too, but had servo issues.
Yeah.
Robert was super fast. He had servo issues too. But
Bobby Battier TQ'd practice in front of Ongaro. He was looking really good, but even in qualifying, I believe he was fighting for the win in each one, but then got taken up by traffic in the first two, and then
but he had a servo issue, and you could see. I think I asked Joseph because Joseph was there, and he said it was glitching, and then he just was glitching until he couldn't finish the one. That was actually the issue for Jack too. He was super fast and had servo issues. He actually won the junior championship, so congratulations, Jack Parsley. It's good to see the Thylacine doing well, even though he doesn't run Mayako no more. But still to see, man, I'll tell you one thing, like the Dexters always seem to perform on the international stage.
Yeah, it's weird because Jack, for example, I think he's been stronger than Aaron in Australia and in the New Zealand races. But then here, Aaron showed really good pace. So maybe it's just more experience, or I don't know. But Aaron's
maybe it's all the beer that the Thylacine drinks.
Yeah, it might be that. But I remember at RCGP, he did really well there too, like in 2019.
Yeah, that's where Robert had the issues. Dude, look at this track. Wow, it is really nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
this track is it's weird because when you go out on it the first time, it's really, really difficult. But as soon as you have a few sessions of practice on it, then it's actually quite easy. But it's really hard to go fast. You try to make it as fast as possible, but it's the jump. Oh dang, that was the hard hit. But the jump phases are really hard to judge, and everything is tilted, and everything is even this it's to the side, tilted triple, and then you have to turn. When I was, it was a different venue than. I'm pretty sure.
Same surface and stuff, I believe.
Same surface, yeah. But when I was here at the Philippine Masters then it was RCGP, but in 2019 it was definitely the first practice was I remember everyone just couldn't keep it on the track. I don't think any driver did a proper 2 laps in a row. It was crazy how difficult it was to get the hang of where everything is tilted. But yeah,
this track reminds me of this kinetic track a little bit, but different.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's all the Asian, like major Asian tracks have the similar design. Like all the tracks, because I think this is made by the crew in Manila, and they've always made tracks like this, and they also made tracks around the area in Philippines, like Manila area in Philippines, and all the tracks look similar. But even like to me, what was interesting is like you remember the Worlds in Thailand in 2010, like that track looked very similar. Like tilted jumps. They almost always use like oil, or here they use molasses to make the track like this black shiny. But yeah, Scenic as well, same thing. I don't know why they have this style, but it's really difficult to start out with.
I haven't seen this type of
flow.
Yeah, I haven't seen this style of track anywhere else but Asia.
Yeah, to me that's interesting. I kind of don't have an answer for that, to be honest. But yeah, really cool style of track, and I wish like the only way, like if this track got bumpy, that would be impossible to run.
I'm just looking at Robert losing his shit right now.
Yeah, yeah.
What is he doing? Oh my, that's
yeah.
He's just he's frustrated.
Yeah, because what I heard from Joseph was that in warm up, the servo like just shut off. Then like once he got started, like it just was glitching like almost every lap, and then at some point it just got stuck to full speed, so he had to pull out.
Yeah, I don't know if Bobby can handle it wide open all the time. I mean, he does need to have some break, mainly for the air. But he was fat. Oh, so I heard that the tire to be on was Clay's Hot Race and Matrix Clay's, and bald at that.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the Detox, we ran J Concepts Detox then. That was like the tire to run at that time. So that was like normally the Detox is the best when
but it was the clay compound apparently.
Yeah, I think it might be down to the different dirt they have now. But basically, like Detox usually works when the second layer of the pin is still on, and then when that wears out, it's really slippery. But here it was almost the opposite. It was better when it wore out and got more slick. So I think it just like the molasses, the kind of, and it's weird because like after a run, you feel your tires, they're all like sticky because the sugar of the molasses gets stuck to it. So it's a very, very weird surface for sure.
Hey man, I look at this and I just want to go to this race one day. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to go to this race. I want to go to the Philippines. I want to go here. I like this track. I think it was a good event. I'm gonna watch more of I'll watch this full main later. But Mika, my boy Mika, he came second, man.
Yeah,
Mika's a good driver, man.
Yeah, for sure. Good driver. He's interesting because he kind of is on, like he's not on the forefront like many other drivers at this level, but then like he still has some very, very good results here and there. And he's won EOS too. So it's not like he isn't a top racer in Europe. He's one of the fastest 10 scale drivers in Europe for sure.
Yeah, I hope that we see more people go to this race. I like to see some of the Americans go over here, maybe a few more of the Europeans. This could be one of those events that become, I mean, it has in the past, and obviously it took some time off due to COVID. But I would love to see this become the premier Asian event that everybody goes to.
Yeah, kind of like, Scenic was, or Bitti contest in Thailand. That was one event. I remember the Dany going there every year. Something like that. Yeah. The only like really bad thing about Philippines I remember is the traffic in the morning. Like getting to the track if you went right by it was super difficult.
Oh really?
Like it was like.
But apparently this isn't. It's in the same area. It's
So basically when I was there in 2019, they knew that they was gonna have to relocate because they were building. They were building a new apartment kind of complex, or like zoning out the one part, and there was this basically there was a huge field where there was a BMX park and some other stuff, and then the RC track they wanted to use for apartment buildings, and they kind of moved to the other side of that area. So it's the same, like it's probably like a few hundred meters away from where the old track used to be, but I bet there's an apartment built or like a big I don't know what you call them, but yeah, they have very high-rise buildings around the area, so very tightly lived there.
All right, we're gonna get into the Euro Ebuggy warm-ups in a minute, but I wanted to go with some of the other news you had her. And by the way, congratulations! Oh, Davide Angaro, new paint again. He's got a different paint job again. It's like more yellow now.
I think I'm pretty sure he just every international race he goes through, he has a new paint job. I am pretty sure at this point, you know.
Angaro proves to be the class once again. Like, no way. Like, I think it'll be very hard to beat Angaro this year.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like his track too. So I think
IBC is gonna be interesting.
IBC, as long as the tires work well, he's gonna do really good. Probably same with the Euros. To be honest, I don't think he's gonna go to an A-scale race where he will be a little bit on the back foot this year. Like, he's not going to America. There isn't a big, and I think, to be honest, like on an international level, he's focusing a lot more on 10 scale this year because he's going to the World.
Yeah, I believe so. Which we have the World's warm-up coming up here shortly, and we will have a recap because our favorite Mexican co-host is going. He's now recovered from his splenectomy. All right, Max, you have Reds ESC. Max, you've gone on some investigative journalism here?
Yeah, so actually, just let me pull it up. So this is from actually the Ebuggy Euros warm-up. Okay, I got it. So yeah, so I went through, thanks by the way to Mika News. He's a German, just an RC enthusiast who has his own website. He does his own, like, I'd say maybe podcast, and does coverage of all the German racing. He does everything in German, but he's been doing it for a long time. I remember like at least for like 5 years probably now. So just a shout out to him. These pictures are from him. But yeah, to the investigative journalism part. So I was going through some pictures, thanks to someone mentioning this in the Discord. I was going through some pictures then of Boots' car, and correctly identified by people on the Discord, this is an hobby wing switch. And I was wondering because Reds used to make an ESC, you know, in 2020. They came out with the Gen 2. But I went onto the website, and what I found is, according to their website, there is no 8-scale ESC anymore. So to me, this was very surprising because they used to have one, and Boots used to run it too, like back in like, I think 2018, something like that. So they have had one for a while. But right now and the thing why we in the Discord people got interested because they have blurred out, you know, the ESC is blurred out, and also the switch. And then on the other picture, the switch is visible and it's clearly a hobby wing switch. So maybe if they hadn't blurred it out, we wouldn't have noticed it. But thanks to the people in the Discord and me doing some investigative journalism, yeah, what is happening at Reds on the electric side? My theory was that this speedo had an issue of, you know, components, because this was like during COVID. So maybe during COVID they ran out of components, couldn't produce it anymore, and it's as simple as that. But there has been some rumors that the speedo wasn't that good, and maybe they just gone away from the speedo and trying to work out the new one, and are currently running just a hobby wing speedo. So yeah, I don't know, just a thing I noticed, and thanks to those people on the Discord. There's once upon a time, like or once in a while, should I say, there is quite good, gossip
information
from the RC and information from the RC world,
especially today.
Yeah, and yeah, for sure. And also one thing that is 100% speculative, but there's a brand called Jet TW, I believe, and they do make lots of speedos and electronics, and their speedo looks quite similar to that old red speedo. But yeah, they are definitely going away from that. It seems, because they don't mention it anywhere. It's hard. You can't even find it on their website anymore. So yeah, maybe for the Ebuggy Euros, Ebuggy World Cup, maybe they have something to show. So
Yeah,
for the Reds fans, it's not only bad news; it might also be good news.
So that's why Ebuggy is getting important. Well, we're about to have this Euro Cup here coming up this year, which is going to be in what's that? Where you got? Yeah, World Cup. Sorry, it's in Portugal, but
it's in Portugal.
I got the track that you went to, the track that you raced Euros there. So they have that this year. Yeah, it is. I believe so.
Let me check.
Well, anyway, for those that don't know, so in order to have a Worlds, IFMAR has a rule where you have to have a World Cup first, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why they have to do this, but it's only 2023. So they have the World Ebuggy World coming up in September of this year in Portugal. And then I believe in 2025 they're gonna have the Ebuggy.
Yeah. Worlds. So basically, I'm not exactly sure how it works for IFMA, but for EFRA, there is kind of a requirement that if you are to organize an EFRA European Championship, you have to organize an EFRA GP or 40 plus European Championship or European Championship B before that. So you have to have at least one race under your belt. And also, I think for the world, like IFMA Worlds, they must have some rule that there has to be a World Cup before.
No, it is.
It's a rule. Yeah, it's just so that they have it. I don't know, the show. I think it's an old federation thing, but yeah, I doubt a lot of people are going.
I don't think either. I think they should just make it a World. I'll be honest with you. The Worlds, Nitro Worlds is long enough. They should just add Ebuggy to it.
No, I do disagree, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, explain why.
Because I do think that when you organize a big event like that, it should be for one class, because it's for basically everyone is traveling by air, and then some people might want to attend just the one, Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like if you go to 10 scale Euros, you race two. And also, especially in Europe, the thing is that you never have two classes on top of each other at an official race. Well, in national series they do that, but in Euros they run tool drive from Monday to Wednesday, mm-hmm, and then full drive the Thursday to Saturday. Mm-hmm, so that's something that I think has been pretty separated in, and also touring or 12 scale. It used to be that 12 scale was the week before, and then the touring was the week after, and they might have been at the same venue. In Thailand, 2008, they're at the same venue. 2012, in Holland, they were at the same venue. So that's kind of the thing that has been, and I do think, on top of the fact that that's kind of the norm, I do think it's more prestigious when there isn't two world champions crowned during the same week.
I understand that. But I'm thinking more of a budget thing.
100% budgeting, yeah. But think of it kind of the other way around. Lots of these clubs want to organize a big race, get their names out there. Right now, we've had European Championships at the same venue for this. This is going to be the third time the Euros are going to be at
Redovan.
Yeah. So I think there should be other classes and more opportunities for other organizers to organize races like this. And this is also giving it, it's going to be difficult if the first Ebuggy Worlds are going to be in Brazil. I don't think anyone's going to go, but if they play it smart, put it to America or Europe, where they're.
I think it's going to Portugal. I think it's going to be at IBC. It's going to be at Barcelos.
Okay, well that would definitely make sense, and I think that would be a great venue for it. And I just think they shouldn't be on the same. And one extra thing is that you kind of want them every other year, because right now we have 8 scale, and then we have 10 scale. But a lot of drivers don't really run 10 scale, that run 8 scale, and vice versa, So in my opinion, it's actually best that, because most of these manufacturers focus on like one class at a time. So it could like keep up the improvements, the work, and also like Ongaro runs 10 scale, but people who don't run 10 scale, they could like have a Worlds every year. I think, in my opinion, this is one way also to promote Ebuggy much more.
Well,
not just
also,
as a side class, but as a class.
Exactly. If it goes, that's the thing, right? If it becomes a part of the Worlds, which I think budget wise is the best, it just becomes a side class, right?
Yeah, and I think that is not really, because I do believe in the future there's really no reason to like keep nitro racing like alive. Like everything is.
Are you blaspheming on the podcast, Max?
No, but like think of it like 10 years in the future. Like they're really internal combustion engines are kind of gonna go away at some point. Like there's just no reason to keep them up if everything is electric at this point. So I think like there has to be some prestige established for 8 scale Ebuggy before that situation comes to reality.
You should go wash your mouth off with soap.
No, the thing is, I want nitro. I'm just saying, like there might be a situation where we kind of are forced to move to electric, but then that isn't established. It's just a side class. But if we now put it as a separate event, it has its own prestige, it has its own thing, and then we might have to ditch nitro if that ever becomes a thing. That's just my argument.
Okay,
and I do think Ebuggy deserves.
I am pumpkin seeding you.
Okay, that was watermelon seed before. Now it's pumpkin.
Yeah, but we're having a different. You know what? It's pumpkin seed.
Okay.
Today, just to I don't want to spend 5 minutes on this more, but what it will do is increase the technology and will to make better electronics, better batteries. We'll see 100%. Longer run times, all this type of stuff. So it's going to greatly increase the technology that's going into Ebuggy. I dare say we're probably going to see Ebuggy specific cars at some point. We're already seeing that, right? So I think it's a good thing. Ebuggy obviously is paying the bills. Let's just throw E-Truggy in there too. I'm happy with that. Just like I think we should throw Truggy in at the Nitro Racing. And that's it. Anyway, we're going to move on because Afra has all these rules about having World Cup.
You can't just say, let's make a world championship for Truggy. That I will
Truggy
never let
matters
that happen.
Too, Max.
No, it doesn't. Truggy should
is
die.
Awesome. It's not dying.
No.
E-Truggy is alive and well.
I think E-Truggy should be like there should be an E-Truggy class, but you can only attend it if you have a Traxxas or a Kraton, a basher vehicle, because I think it's a disgrace. E-Truggy is a disgrace.
Oh my god!
To the sport of RC racing.
You just pissed off every Ebuggy enthusiast out there.
Okay. No, but it's getting out of hand. I just have to push back, because it's getting out of hand.
Oh,
I know E-Truggy is inevitable, and I cannot like get rid of it anymore, and I will have to accept it. And behind the scenes, I'm kind of I know in the Mayako camp there is an E-Truggy already, and it does look cool. You know, I have to admit, I see the realities of this. But
this is a great segue.
As a moral principle, I have to say, I need to push back. That's all I have.
This is a great segue to something that lit up the interwebs here about 2 weeks ago, with Traxxas coming out with their new conversion, their sledge conversion. And I posted this, and the racing world went berserk.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's a good thing. I think that Traxxas has done more for RC than anybody in Traxxas has done more for RC racing than anybody in RC racing. They've brought more people, new people into RC racing than anything that we've done, right? I just saw the negative. This is trash. It's not going to work. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work. What matters is getting that person who buys that sledge to a track and racing. Eventually, he'll get what works. Who knows? That sledge conversion might be badass, and he does well with it, but he realizes, hey, to be really competitive, I need a Techno e-truggy because it's the best, or whatever. Oh, but you know what? I realized that e-buggies, the e-truggy is great, but Nitro is the glory, and I'm going to run Nitro. That is the gateway drug right there, people. We need to be looking at every opportunity that we can to be getting people into RC. Yes, I hope Traxxas makes a full-on sledge race version and people buy it. I hope Mark Santamaria has done videos on this. I hope that we see thousands of these things show up at tracks.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The only issue I have is actually I read through the thing, and it wasn't like a conversion or a kit. Effectively, it's a blog post about someone converting it, or someone at Traxxas converting it, and they had bought the kit. Well, they didn't buy because it was Traxxas person, but basically, if you wanted to do what they did, you'd buy the 700, 800 kit, and then you'd buy 700 worth of parts.
Okay, that's a little expensive.
Yeah, so basically, that car that he showed there on the blog post costs around $1,500. Okay,
but people are going to spend that, right? And people are going to take it to a racetrack.
I know, but
people
I think
going to take it to a racetrack.
But one thing,
it needs to be cheaper.
To say,
it needs to be cheaper.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what they could do is just replace those parts in the beginning, and it would be quite a cheap truck. Now, to be honest, like the armor trucks, those things, like, you can just fucking put tires on and you're good.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
So armor actually, it does it in kind of a sneaky way, where it's a purely RTR car, a basher car, but all you really need to do is change tires, and it's legal for ROAR and EFRA rules. Or EFRA doesn't have a truggy, but ROAR rules.
Yeah, and you can't run 6S. You run 4S.
Well, yeah, but you just buy a battery. You know, they don't even come with a battery from the box. So all you need to do is buy it for us.
Exactly. As I said, this past weekend, I saw a Trent Wheeler Creighton, and it looked badass.
Yeah.
It looked like an old school truggy conversion. That's what it looked like. And it sounded like Santa Sleigh. And I saw 2 Typhoons out there in sportsman hands racing. So this is how we get new people. And this is how we get new people into racing. Sorry. I know everybody hates Traxxas right now and they don't like them. And I don't know, maybe mentioning Traxxas in this podcast is going to get us flagged. I don't know. But I think it's a great idea. And I hope thousands of people buy them. And I hope they go to tracks.
Yeah. One thing I actually want Traxxas to do is to actually do that, you know, because with a few minor changes to the sledge, I bet they could make it so that it would be like good to run. And I think the truggy they had on the blog post, I have no reason to believe that isn't competitive. Like, I bet if I went to some, you know, race, I could definitely do quite okay with it. And I think like any good driver could do at least close to the level of a normal, you know, truggy. It's actually those RTR cars aren't that bad as people think. Only thing,
you know what it is. You know what it is. Us RC fanatics, we like bragging about how much money we got into our cars. That's it. It's
that is right? People have that thing. Like I kind of, because I've raced so many RTR cars, and then people like give them to me, and I race it around the track. And it's always funny when people like see it go around so fast. They're like, "How do you do that?" But yeah, the car isn't really that big of a deal. Like when you are at like a level of like a top American or European driver, you know, racing in the, let's say, top 20, top 30 of Europe or America, then, you know, the car might give you a little bit of, edge. But when you're a sportsman, like, you don't really need to have a specific car. You just need to have, the things you like about it.
Mm-hmm,
And I think for sportsmen, it would actually be great if sportsmen were just full of RTRs again, because that would get people much more easier into RC too. And I think the good thing about it is if Traxxas makes a blog post like that, they clearly see, because Traxxas is a fucking business. Like, that's all it is. They don't really have that, RC spirit in them. It's a business and they're trying to do it.
I agree. I agree.
So if they make a post like that and someone's getting paid for it, it has to mean that they notice that people take Armas and other of their competitors and race them,
I agree.
And they at least have the thing in their mind, the seed in their mind, that maybe we actually have to, offer something between bashing and full-on racing. And if Traxxas and Arma, who are the two biggest
bashers
companies, they're the biggest bashers, but I'd say two biggest RC car companies in the world. I don't think there's even a little bit of disagreement. If we're talking cars and we're talking RC, Traxxas and Arma are the most sold out there.
Oh, agreed.
No question about it.
Absolutely. I agree
so
with you 100%.
That means there's the most amount of money. That means there's most amount of money to put into marketing, most cars out there, most hobby shops and stores, RC stores in general, selling them. So if these companies realize that it's a viable market, they are going to put money into it, which is going to grow it even more. And in the end, some of those realize, hey, I want to be a fanatic like those other guys. I do want that techno e-truggy, and I do want to stay here. Or someone's going to go and buy, I want to learn about vehicle dynamics and join an invisible speed course, or whatever it ends up being. I think if these companies at least see the possibility that there might be a market here, it is good for us. And I think this is what that Traxxas post, to me at least, was. But on its own, I don't suggest anyone buy that car and turn it into a race car. But I think what's behind that post, that's, in my opinion, very positive.
I would agree with you. Hey, you know what? We're going to pay a bill, and then we're going to segue to the other drama that happened in Europe this weekend.
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Thank you to Brent and Beach RC for their continued support. Got to see Brent this past weekend at the North Georgia Shootout. He has some big news coming out in about a week or so. It's pretty exciting. I'll drop it when it happens. I can't let the cat out of the bag yet. But thank you to them for all their support. And now we're going to talk about all the drama that happened this past weekend. For once, we have some absolute bad, just drama coming out of Europe, So all the American listeners were like, what about EFRA? What about referees? What about all this stuff? So I'm going to play the video while we talk about this. So this is also from Mika News as well, that Max was talking about earlier. And this is A3 from the EFRA Euro warm-ups. Where is this track? In Germany, actually.
So this is in Germany. It's Bischofsheim, what's it called, but it's very close to Frankfurt. It's basically in Frankfurt. This is this track actually is in VRC Pro. It's called the Rhein-Main, and this is also Joseph used to go to this race every. Yeah, they had. I can't remember what the race was called.
Oh, this is Rhein-Main.
Yeah.
So why did the name change? Is it still called Rain Mine or?
No, I think the track is called Rain Mine, but the place is called Bischofsheim.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what the deal is, but yeah, Joseph used to go to this track like every year, and they
I'm
have
gonna say this
spring GP.
Well, this is like a Euro track at its best. AstroTurf, a little AstroTurf everywhere. Not too many crazy jumps. I mean, even the triples are kind of like, yeah, meh. But anyway, let's talk about this. So they had the Afro Ebuggy warm-ups this past weekend here. We had the Killex. This is like one of their home tracks. We had Coelho there. Boots was there. There was some fast guys there. So the big drama came after Coelho made his Facebook post Monday, I think it was. Oh man, I was driving home and so many people were sending. It was Monday. So many people were sending me this post, and I'm like, okay, I've seen it. And everybody's like, oh, these are your boys, the Killix, the fucked up, and da 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 da. I was like, look, I have to report to these. Yes, I love the Killix. Love them even more. Go Team Killick at SilverState. Go Team Killick. This is my imaginary turkey flag right there. Go Team Killick. All right. So Bruno accused Borak of blocking, so Barkan could go. Well, he did block. He just brake checked and boots went flying. Yeah. So basically, Barkan TQ'd. Barkan TQ'd, so he started on first. I haven't watched A1 or A2. I heard there was some contact between Coelho and Barkan or something like that in A2. But basically, Borak won A1 and A2, and he chose to run A3. Now, I know everybody's freaking out saying, how can he run A3 and this and that and that? Well, here it is. In America, Roar has it right. You can't run A3 if you win A1 and A2 because they don't want you messing with the results of the next race, right? But apparently, Afro does not have this rule, so he's allowed to run his A3.
Yeah, it's actually, the thing is that there never has been a rule in Europe, and it has actually been discussed many times before. The thing is that what EFRA has is a rule about, team blocking, unsportsmanlike behavior and stuff like that. But there never has been a rule of A3 that you can't run it. At least in I don't.
But it's more like a gentleman's agreement than anything.
Yeah, but the thing is that there is. And I think it's like in Europe, it's generally, understood that if you run A3, it's fine as long as you don't do anything, weird. Well, this, to be honest, is not into that. And actually, let me pull up one part of the EFRA rule.
Okay, while you do that, I'm going to explain to the listeners. So what happened? So anyway, Coelho made a post. I should probably have it, but basically, he doesn't call out. Do you want me to share that? No, I can't share both. I don't think Max.
Oh, okay. Let me actually get the Coelho both so we can.
Okay. So Coelho made a post, and don't get me wrong. Coelho has all rights to be upset. I do not disagree with him not being upset, right? So basically, he accused. Well, you can see it. Borak is slowing him, is driving slow. Barkan goes off to win this, right? I watched this, right? And I'm saying to myself, if I'm Coelho, I'm doing my infamous CTO at some point. I think Coelho was too cautious in this A3, right? Yes, Borak is defending and blocking, but it's nothing wrong with what he's doing right now, in my opinion. That's racing. That's why you have teammates. The only thing wrong is that he's able to do it because it's an A3, which should be a rule that keeps him from doing that, right? Also, I want people to know that the Coelho and the Killix have had run-ins before. Like, I talked to the Killix after this, and they're like, Coelho has cost us 3 podiums. We also know that the Killix are very aggressive drivers. They're brothers. Of course, they're going to... every single form of motorsports has team drivers, right? We have blocking in every form of motorsports. That's the point of having a team to help each other out, right? It's just that the Killix are doing it on a next level, and it was very blatant at this race. I thought that Coelho was good. I was Coelho, I would just win. I would have went at that point. So Borak's doing a good job here blocking Coelho, and while we have this going on, we got Aaron Ronick and and Boots are battling out in the end. I look, I get it. This is blatant. It's happening. Barkan's out in the lead, but there's no rule. This is racing. This is racing. This is racing. What people don't understand. In my opinion, look, I'm not saying that this isn't right. This isn't wrong, and this is blatant. I'm not condoning this, but there's no rule saying he can't do it.
Well, actually, there is.
Oh shit! I was wrong. You can just read the rule. Oh shit! That the ironic thing about this is Coelho's. I get it. Coelho was upset, and he has every right to be upset. And his race report is about this, and he's talking about blocking and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, come on, actually, let me now pull up the Coelho thing.
Okay.
Okay, so here's his post.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just pause this. I can just about see that.
You can't see it?
Okay. Back home, a productive test, but the worst RC motor ever had a 1/8 off-road. In the past, I've always had fights with many drivers. Some fights were good, some fights were not so good. But even if I liked the driver or not, one thing that always had was respect. I had crashed out so many drivers, and in 99% of times, I came to say sorry. If I said sorry, I did wait for them on the track. I can say that I've never ever put nobody intentionally, nor did something bad to someone just because I don't like them. Let's talk about what happened at the European Championship warm-up. There are two well-known, talented drivers that drive RC cars. They both qualified first and second. One of them was super faster, 1 second faster lap, which won the first two finals, overall winner. In the third final, that driver that won already the race decided to drive the last final, and no surprise, I was expecting to help his brother. So basically, the super fast driver that was 1 second faster, then everyone slid on 2 seconds left, giving a huge gap to his brother. It was so ridiculous the way he was sliding on. Everyone that I even opened to Boots, which basically saying to everybody, good luck, and on it with honest words. And this is mixed English, so
yeah. Basically he's saying that he let Boots by and let him try to get by Burak because he was just blocking everyone.
Okay. But he knew this going in, so he should have been more aggressive, in my thought. This was not everything. As the driver was so happy about his fantastic show by slowing down everyone to let his brother go away. He decided to make something more. I only needed to finish third in the final, so basically I never tried to pass. I was okay with my third place, as I knew that I did not deserve any of the other two places, as they were faster than me and Tyreek. So the end of this great, the driver decided the last corner to turn the opposite direction at full brake and put me out, which he did very well. His attitude was shocking. Everyone there felt shame for it. It was so traumatic to the point one of his main sponsors came up to our team to say sorry about his attitude. Many other people came to our table to say sorry about that. What drove me crazy is the fact that this is my job. I need to make results. But the fact that there are so many young kids out there, so many new club racers watching, they have to see something like this. But what makes me sad and disappointed is that things like this with these two brothers are happening all the time. These kind of scenes are happening all the time, and so many drivers are reported similar events. He has all rights to feel that way. I'm not disputing how he feels about that. Now, I say, if there's no rules about this, there's no rules about this, right?
Well, actually, can we now take a look at the final corner? Can you?
I can. Are we gonna go deep and like slow-mo it and all that stuff?
No, you can just show it normal speed. I think it's pretty clear. It's at the very end of it.
Yeah, I got it. I'm just trying to get there. I think this may be it.
Yeah, this may be it. But basically, all of the 10 minutes, Burak just held back everyone. And this was second to last lap, I believe.
Okay.
But in the end, he took out Coelho, basically. Like you're going to see it soon. But
I'll be honest with you, though. He was in front. Burak was in front.
Yeah, but okay. So here's the thing: if this was A2, 100% okay, no issue at all. But the issue is that this is A3, you know. So the thing is like, yeah, I think this is the lap where what happens. So basically, what happens for those listening is that Burak goes inside for the last two jumps. Coelho goes outside, and what Burak does is slows down, waits that Coelho is side by side with him, and then he just doesn't turn for the last turn, which takes both him and Bruno out in the last corner, which in turn puts Boots into second in the last main and promotes another German driver, which is friends with the Kilic brothers.
Yes, Aaron
Ronick to the podium. So basically, what happened was this move dropped Coelho to fourth and promoted Burak's friend Aaron to third. Now, in my opinion, okay, Berkan and Aaron Ronick, I don't think they have any blame on them because in the end they did nothing wrong. They just ran their race. In my opinion, the only one to blame is Burak because he is allowed to run A3. But what he done this main was quite clearly. By the way, that was a great pass by Boots. But
I know Boots just slipped in there like ooh, whoop.
Yeah. But this, in my opinion, this was quite clearly like it was blatantly, blatantly blocking them. So here's the thing: the takeout, no matter the situation, not cool. That was not okay and should not be allowed anymore. Okay. The blocking, if this wasn't, if Burak hadn't won yet, let's say Burak had a 1 and a 2. And he knew that no one's going to beat his time. And then he just blocked so Berkan can win. In my opinion, the blocking is fine then. That is totally okay. But the issue, in my opinion, is this. He ran A3 after winning it and blocked then. So the issue is that he basically cannot get better results and he's blocking for someone else. And now I'll show the rule that is quite, in my opinion, it's quite clear in the EFRA rule book. So you can see it, right? So here, this is a section in EFRA rules 4.3 team driving. And in a case where team driving, unsporting behavior or conduct by persons that is construed as being prejudicial to a fair race are suspected, the official referee will consult with the race director and or vice versa. Basically, what this means is if a driver is not driving a fair race, basically after winning, for example, blocking someone else. So doing something that is not necessarily banned in the rules, but can be seen as unsportsmanship or team driving, which this was a blatant case of it. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And here is in case that both officials agree, they will report to the section chairman, and then this situation is handled at the EFRA committee meeting. And then any driver that is
yeah, I get it.
Any driver that does this has to be taken into the committee. I mean, this is some like a federation, very like filing their dot. But the 4.3.3 states, for instances of team driving, gross misconduct, serious unsportsmanlike behavior, or conduct prejudicial to a fair race, the EFRA committee may exercise its right to refuse the subject attending or participating in any meeting or event for incremental periods of 6 months up to a maximum period of 5 years. Okay, so basically what this means that Burak has committed a violation of rule 4.3.1, which we both agreed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next section would be 4.3.2, which is the EFRA committee meeting would handle the situation. And then the 4.3.3 says if he is deemed that he is guilty of gross misconduct or team driving or unsportsmanlike behavior, which we already said that he is faulty of, then basically he can be given a 6-month up to a 5-year ban from any EFRA meetings. Okay.
But I get that. I hope that don't happen. I hope it don't happen.
So, okay. But here's the catch. I looked into EFRA website. I looked in EFRA race calendar. This isn't an official EFRA meeting. Okay. So, like, here's the thing. If this was an EFRA GP registered on EFRA website as an EFRA GP, the EFRA rules would be in play. And I don't think anyone would agree that this is a gross misconduct or unsportsmanlike behavior. So basically, EFRA, if this was an EFRA GP or an official EFRA event, he could get a ban from 6 months to 5 years. But luckily for him, I don't see in every AGM meetings or any EFRA releases that this is an EFRA recognized event. So this is basically an unofficial event that EFRA doesn't recognize. So the EFRA rules aren't in play.
Well,
so basically, this is just another club meeting.
Right.
So that saves him in the end. Because if you read that rule, he should be fucking banned for 6 months. I think that would be really harsh. But if he went by the rules and did everything like that, if this was an EFRA meeting, he would be banned for 6 months up to 5 years. And I wouldn't say that is appropriate, because this is kind of like
a warning. Instance. I would say a warning.
Definitely a warning. And I think this is a good thing now that it happened at the warm-up, because I actually, if any person in EFRA is listening to this, I actually would really, really strongly
suggest changing that rule about A3.
Yeah, definitely, because Roar has it. If it wins the first 2 mains, so basically lock out of the wins, then the driver has to sit out A main number 3. That is in Roar rulebook in those words. So
specifically only for stuff like this.
For all classes with AAA mains, if they don't already have the rule, which I didn't find from the EFRA rulebook, they should be definitely added.
I think it should be double A mains, by the way, anyway. Double A mains and none.
Okay, that's a different conversation. But in my opinion, for the Euros, that rule should 100% be changed. Of course.
I can't believe EFRA doesn't have that rule and Raw does.
Yeah.
Go America. Got it right on that one.
Okay.
They did.
Come
on. You gotta eat some crow now, Max. Eat some crow.
Yeah. So I have previously actually believed that it's not necessarily have that rule, but because of this instance, I think Roar did actually have it right. And I think, I don't know, it's kind of dumb that we haven't had that rule before. And but to me, the reason...
Say it out loud.
Roar did it right. Roar did it right. And EFRA did it wrong.
See everybody out there, Max can admit when he's wrong too. That's not
but to be honest, I wasn't wrong in this instance. But the thing is that I had the mindset before that it's not needed, but clearly it is. So.
Okay, so let's rewind this. So this comes to that. Of course, this opens up the camp. Look, I love the Killicks, right? I love the Killicks. The brothers, they're gonna help each other out no matter what. But slowing down racing happens all the time. I saw it at the Worlds. I saw Tasman hurl up Runnerfolk for 10 minutes. I saw Cole hurl up Runnerfolk for a few minutes where you have to get by him. But it's different. It's in a race, right?
Yeah.
This was absolute. This was blatant, right? And the thing is, look, these guys have run-ins before, apparently. I talked to them. They're like, yeah, Coelho cost us 3. And look, let's be honest. Coelho is no angel. How many times has he taken people out? X-Ray is no angel. Of course they've slowed down. Of course they've applied X-Ray.
Here's the thing that is why I think the drama is of less value. If this, the thing is, it's no surprise a thing like this happens to Coelho. I have a lot of respect for him, but we have to be honest that he puts himself into situations where things like this happen to him. He does take out people on a regular basis still, even though he's much better. much better these days, but he does still take people out. And Kilic brothers, I have to say, I have not heard many people,
I keep hearing that they do, but
they keep what I'm saying is I've not heard many people say that they are clean racers.
Okay, sorry.
They take out people on regular basis on all kinds of classes, and I've seen it myself. Yeah. So these two, Coelho and I'd say Berkan is a little bit cleaner, but Burak is, in my experience, has had more issues than Berkan. But both of them have had a lot of run-ins with other people. But Coelho and the brothers, there is no surprise that as they found each other on the track, there is some past grudge on there, And I think this was a very unsportsmanlike way to pay it back. But Burak wouldn't have done that to any other driver out there. Coelho is probably
there must be some. There's definitely they don't like each other. Yeah. I love this stuff. Like it. I've never seen this before. Like this blatant. They don't have to do it. They're good enough for it. They don't have to do it. But I think they wanted to do it.
And definitely the thing wasn't because Berkan would have beat everyone else. Berkan didn't need Burak to do that to win. Okay. Right. So that Burak didn't do the blocking to make Berkan win. He did that just to piss off Coelho. I think if you look at the results, there was no one else who had a good result. No one could have even beat Berkan really because he was much faster than everyone else and he started out front. So that wasn't even like team orders. That was just Burak trying to mess with Coelho. That's in my opinion. That's the truth.
What I think. What I think's happened here is Coelho in on-road is king, right? He's also a 2-time 10-scale world champion as well in off-road. But this is 8-scale racing, man, and this is big boy racing.
I mean, he's European.
He's a national. He's a European champion in 8-scale too, but he doesn't. He doesn't race 8-scale. I think Bruno is the most talented driver in the world. He doesn't race 8-scale much, and he has gotten in with a lot of people in the short time that he has raced 8-scale.
Yeah,
right?
And I think
it's like, hey, here's a little taste of your Madison. And as for team orders, I love what I know. We all know that X-Ray is on the gray area, right? We all know they play on the gray area.
Yeah.
So let's not act like they haven't had team orders for people either.
Yeah,
I have seen Martin Beyer pull over. I've seen Martin Beyer pull over at an EOS. Literally pull over for Coelho.
Yeah. It's not only that they help each other, but like here's the thing: team orders are fine as long as you help each other. And I think in racing, as long as everything is in play, it's fine. If Coelho and Tesman were in the top 3 at the Worlds and they were holding someone back. Totally fine. I mean, it's team orders, and you might say that's not nice, but totally fine, totally in the rules. The issue comes in qualifying, and if you want the 2 A-mates. That's my opinion of this.
I agree.
And X-Ray has done it in EOS in qualifying. They many times, like Coelho started up front, Beyer started in 3rd, let's say, and some driver who was fighting for TQ was starting behind Beyer. They've slowed it down, and people have seen it. X-Ray have done things like this before, and I think that's the biggest issue for Bruno. He's the one who has issues with the Reinhardts. That's why he doesn't run ETS anymore. He's the one who has had issues with a lot of people in 10 scale, a lot of people in 8 scale. Now he's in battle with Kilic brothers. So. And also another thing, X-Rays is to blame of a lot of similar things in the past. So Coelho has like the worst like he's the worst guy to come out for unsportsmanlike behavior.
Yes, I would agree.
But I think he's 100% right.
He has all right.
He's 100% right in this instance, but it's kind of like it's that's why I think a lot of people are still against him in this scenario, because he has all those things against him. But what I truly want is to people not to do. Like, I'm fine blocking, I'm fine with team orders, whatever, but don't do it in qualifying. That's not fair. Don't do it in A3 if you want to first do A mains, because there's a very fine line between team orders and playing it on the gray area and then unsportsmanlike behavior.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
There's a very specific line where that happens, and I think this was very way over the top, and yeah. But
well, you know
it was great.
I'm
great,
still all about Team Kill It. Team Kill It. Waving my imaginary. Oh, hold on though. The funny thing about this was people were freaking out. We should contact our sponsors, and these guys look. And Bruno is talking about these are kids. These kids are hungry too. You know, they're trying to get. Yeah. They're trying to do what he's doing. They're on the cusp of being a pro driver. They ain't being champions. They ain't being they're being champions. Well, okay, they're being aggressive champions, but they're not being fanboys. Look, they done it. They're still young. Barkan's 19. Barkan's 17. Borok's 19. They're out there. They're the only two drivers in the world like that right now. You know what I mean? They're the only two drivers like that in the world right now. They're the only two. Okay, we have the Fuller brothers too, but we have the two brothers that are equally as good as each other, equally talented, and don't give a fuck. I love it. But they cannot be aggressive like this. But I understand that they wanted to get back at Coelho, right? And I understand that Coelho is pissed off. You know what, we now have a new rivalry. Mugen versus X-Ray, Killix versus Coelho. Woo! Let the show go on. I cannot wait for the Ebuggy. Who would have thought? Ebuggy creates so much drama. Woohoo! It must be electric. It must be electric. It must be electric. I'm super. Look. Obviously, we shouldn't condone this type of stuff, right? But this is racing, 100%. And it happens. We have people getting in. We have racers that wreck in full scale racing. It happens in all this type of stuff happens. I think that it, like you said, coming from Coelho and X-Ray and all this type of stuff, it's kind of like, and yes, the Killix have been accused of being aggressive and all this type of stuff, but I think they kind of have to be aggressive. And
but I think for me, in my mind, the main, point I want people to remember from what we're talking is there is, being aggressive is fine. Mm-hmm. But being aggressive continuously and not trying to be better, not fixing it, that's an issue. And then another issue is unsportsmanlike behavior, which this was. And that should be absolutely condoned. And one thing I want to say, condemned. That should be absolutely condemned. Okay? So, but one thing I want to still say is, I think the reaction online has been still very silly. Like people are like, ban them, cancel them, call their sponsors. I think that is just silly because it should be talked about and it should be condemned. But there's you don't have to
Oh wow. I think that's for other reasons. But anyway, we're not gonna get into that. Yeah. But the funny thing about this was with the sponsor thing, some guy from Europe messaged Clinic RC saying, I will never run your products ever again after what happened at the European Championships. Poor Tony Noonan's like, what did I do? Because Clinic looks like, I know, when you first look at Clinic, it looks like Clinic. Come on, people. If you're going to try and cancel somebody, make sure you get the right sponsors ready. Don't just try to cancel somebody for the cancel. You ain't canceling the Killix. They're here to stay. I hope they kick ass at SilverState. All right. It was.
And also, I did see a few comments saying that they're gonna, fight the Killix or steal their stuff or key their car. All that type of shit. You're much worse than the offense. Okay, so
of course
that is definitely not. I absolutely hate to see that stuff. So if you feel a sting in your heart of commenting shit revenge on Killix in when they come to SilverState, please think again.
I think they're having a blast at SilverState. And if last I checked, so Borok was top one in the top 5th or 6th in Ebuggy seed. Good luck to the Killix. That brings us up to, we're gonna now look. I know a lot of people out there listening probably saying, "Oh, Lefty, you're being biased towards the Killix." No, I think it was wrong. Right? I think it was wrong They shouldn't have done it. I get why Coelho is pissed off, but it doesn't stop me from liking them. And there goes Max's camera. Put up your avatar, good buddy. And that's it. They're young. They'll learn from it, and hopefully they learn from it. Bruno, X-Ray, guilty of very similar things. Not maybe Bruno hurling up people, but taking out people and all that type of stuff. So it's not like we're talking about two angels here. And I think, Bruno, this is 8-scale racing, and if you hit people, people going to hit you back. And not only that, the Killix now have a big bullseye on their back, and I think any X-Ray driver is going to take them out.
Yeah, but I think actually, because obviously we two, like, we are here for entertainment. That's what we do here. But like for EFRA, I think there should be, there should be some sort of, because this was an unofficial, but it was still an EFRA Euro.
But they say this has happened before with the Killix too. But this has happened before in RC period.
Oh yeah, and it's. But I think there should definitely be like at least some sort of contact with Burak of the situation, because this is definitely not fine, and also that rule change about it. And I think that rule I brought up, that should be really emphasized by EFRA. Maybe a statement or something that this is an actual rule that they will enforce. And I do think that Burak definitely deserves, well, an official warning, perhaps, because this is not an EFRA sanctioned event, but some sort of warning for this, because this is not going to be allowed, or at least it shouldn't be allowed.
It shouldn't be
anywhere in RC. And I think if you don't, because here's the thing, if EFRA don't take a stance on this, it's just like nothing happened. Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you there. Yeah, as much as I love the Killix, I agree with you there. Max, I think we're gonna touch on SilverState, and we have a rant. We're actually gonna use the JQ Racing Rant song that we haven't used in a long time, because this rant is kind of special, and I kind of feel that it's like inner JQ coming out. But before we do that, we're gonna thank you to Techno RC for all the continued support. We're gonna have a quick. What we're gonna do is make our predictions for SilverState. Take a look. We're gonna say what we like about the track, and then go on. All right.
Techno RC. Techno RC. Techno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.technorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Techno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Techno Takeover.
Thank you to Techno RC for all the continued support. Will we see Ryan Mayfield or one of the other Techno drivers take home some wins, or take home that prestigious Nitro Buggy win at the SilverState 2023? And that is what we're going to talk about real quick before we go on to our JQ Racing Rant. As we speak right now, the SilverState race is going on. Immense amounts of entries. It's 77 heats or something like that. Today is Ebuggy and Truggy qualifying, as we're recording Thursday. By the time this comes out, they'll be on buggy qualifying, which is always why I like Joey's races on this side, because he splits up these 2 days, so it doesn't make it as long, makes it a longer race to attend, but makes the qualifying and stuff much faster, go by faster. Max, have you had a chance to look at the track? It's bigger than last year. They actually went out. So if you see to the left of the track, maybe we should pull it up when you get a chance. If you go to the left of the track, right? Maybe we'll put up some of the live coverage while we're doing this. As you go to the left of the track, that was staging last year, and that was actually where I pitted the first year I went there. No, speaking of Walker Spinrad, he's in this race. By the way, Walker Spinrad does not live in California anymore, lives in South Carolina. Just wanted you to know that.
He does?
Let's bring up, because this is actually
Isn't
live.
he used to racing?
Yeah, but he's moved to South Carolina. Hold on. So basically, no, that's not it. The SilverState's going on. As we know, this is one of those races. It's at the hotel. I've been to this race twice. It's one of the most convenient races I want to go to. I always say to people, this is a race that I think if you're an international traveler, you should go to it, because you don't need a rental car or anything. Everything's in the hotel that you need. So it's very convenient on that side of things. like I said, I've been twice. I went last year. I've enjoyed myself the 2 times that I've been. They have 5th scale racing as well. So they made the track bigger this year to the left, which is good. I actually like the track. I mean, this is not the easiest dirt to work with. It's very fine. It's very thin. Right now, we're watching Truggy qualifying Heat 3. I think that's Mayfield out front. Yeah, that's Mayfield.
Yeah.
So this part of the track is all new. Like they didn't like this part of the track. We pitted there one year, and this is where staging was. So they have made it bigger. I give kudos to Joey and his crew. She just froze. For making it bigger. I mean, this track also gets blown out, so you can't have too many big stupid jumps. But I like it. And here we see Mayfield ripping right now in his techno truck. What do you think about the track, Max?
Yeah, so actually, I do think it's really sweet. Like, I do like it bigger because I always felt that the track at SilverState was like kind of small, you know, because it was a lot smaller before. So I don't know. I wish, they switched to T-Bow. So I am not sure if they could do anything to the dirt, but I think that's kind of the only downside of the SilverState.
No, they can't do anything to the dirt. They can't do anything to the dirt. Just besides water it. And I like the track. Obviously, it's high entrance there. It's 1,125, 426 people. So this is a very popular race. Easy for people around the world to get to. We have a big, strong Australian contingent up there. We have people that went last year. We have the Australian that we're waiting to see. Alexander Bernard-Zak is there. Obviously, Dakota Fend is in great form. Mayfield's looking to do some damage. This man right here, T-Bow, he's always had good luck at this race. He's looking to do better. And then, of course, we have the Killix are there. Y'all Figueiredo's looking fast right off the... Y'all was looking fast. Y'all's been impressive at the last 2 USA races.
Yeah, I think Kyosho as a car definitely likes low grip and bumpy. And also, you know, that's like one funny thing I always come up to is like, can I always test a track that are so freaking blown out, low speed, pretty much everything that Joey's tracks generally are these days, you know, very bumpy, low speed. And I think that's really what's helped you out. And on top of that, he's always been really good at really bumpy tracks. So I think he might actually, you know, surprise a lot of people. I mean, he made the main already at DNC, but here I bet he could finish in the top 5 or something. Even. You know,
possibly. So there's Nicola. What's up, Nicola? Shout out to Nicola for all their support with Hot Race. He's not coming to IBC, unfortunately. I think it's great. I look forward to watching the mains this weekend. We can't really talk more about this because we have to wait for the race to happen. But let's go over some picks and who we think will do well. We're just going to focus on Nitro Buggy. Man, I don't know. You know what, man? I think I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. I'm going Fuller, man.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so hard these days making picks for these Joey races because there's so few. Like there's not a lot of practice. I mean, this race is better than DNC this year, but it's really like it's almost a gamble. You know, you have no idea.
So you're not going on Leon? I'm going with Fuller. I think the Killix are going to do well, but deep down, I think Fenn's going to win this or Mayfield.
Yeah. I'm
Tasman, maybe.
It's really hard to say now because if it was a year ago, I just say like Mayfield, like easy.
I agree with you. I think Fann's just on such great form right now. It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, but then again, this has been his sort of weak point for the past 2 or 3 years. So it's like he made the C one year.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's not that. I mean, look, people got to beat him, but I like to see somebody different win for a change here at some point. Maybe I like to see T-Bow do well. I like to see T-Bow win. I like to see him.
We have seeding points, right?
We do for Ebuggy.
Not the buggy.
No, they don't do buggy till seeding. Sorry.
Yeah, so
it should be seeding.
Rivkin was. I don't know how they do this again. let's see. Rivkin, Figueroa, Fuller, Berkan, Mayfield, Bornhorst, Caden, Tessman,
that's Nitro Buggy?
Ardondo. Yeah, Nitro Buggy. That's, what is this? Is this first or second run of seeding? Dude, like it's freaking, I don't know. It's really weird. They don't have like overall.
Because you got to go to best 2 laps. You go to like a little dot.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. Click that, but they don't have, because they have round 2 and round 1 separate.
All right, I don't have overall seeding. I see what you mean. What you mean.
But Rivkin actually has been really good when it's because the thing is like, I remember TNR race very well because I was chatting with Chris Morale, and the issue was that was like really weirdly slippery. And same thing with DNC actually in the end. And well, for some reason Rivkin didn't do well at DNC, but he did really well at Thunder Rally. And I think he's been looking very solid when it's like low grip and bumpy. He's been looking really good. They have Associated have this prototype chassis where they have moved everything back 10 millimeters. So they have the engine, the radio tray, everything pretty much on their car is moved 10 millimeters back. So hard to say how it will work at this track, but it's slow speed, so I'd imagine it would be pretty decent. So I'm not gonna
pick. Rivkin's a good pick.
Rivkin is a good pick, but I'm not gonna pick him for the win. I'm gonna go with Mayfield because he's just good.
Really?
You know,
I can't blame you for that. I can't.
Yeah.
And he has a point to prove too.
Yeah. And also, if we look at past results, we remember Tebow TQing this. We remember Seth Van Dalen TQing this race, both with the Techno. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And
no, I don't think Seth did.
Well, he
DNC.
Maybe he TQ'd at least a round, because you remember that one year when Seth and Tebow were the top favorites. You know, they were 1 and 2 after qualifying.
I believe I'm my memory. I do believe you're correct.
Yeah. And that was the year when Mayfield stepped on his stick on Ebuggy, I think.
Yeah. I remember that. That was 2022.
So this is
stepped on his penis.
This is kind of the perfect, like, the reason why I was hesitant to pick Mayfield is because he hasn't, like, apart from DNC, he hasn't been looking too confident this year. But the thing is, this is kind of the ultimate track for Techno. It's very bumpy. The long arms help with that. It's low grip. They don't have issues with the narrow pivot width. Their car generates quite a bit of grip. And it's not probably going to be too nervous because it's low speed. So I think actually Mayfield is going to be my favorite to win this. So I'm going to pick him. I'm just going to pick Mayfield. Okay. I'm going to go with... It's hard to pick between Berkan or Burak, but I'm going to go with Berkan second.
Whoa!
And, that's my dark horse pick, okay? And then I'm going to go with Fuller third. He's a solid pick for third.
Whoa.
I'm going to go with
him there, buddy.
Yeah. Fend most likely in top 5, but not making a podium this weekend.
Okay. I think it's going to be hard to beat Fend. I think Killick's in the main, both of them.
Oh, yeah.
I hope anyway. I think y'all is in the main. But I still think Fend, man. I part of me kind of seems like, I know I say this every race.
Didn't you already pick Fuller?
Yes, I am picking Fuller, but like in my deep down, I kind of can't discount Fend. Does that make sense?
I understand it, but this hasn't been his strong race. You know, this is kind of
he's got a point to prove too. Like I was like, I need to beat everybody.
Maybe.
But I kind of want to see somebody different, man. I would like to see somebody different. To be honest,
Fend did look solid at DNC, so this could be sort of his, back to this pace he had when Boots won. I guess it was 2019 or something. You know, that was the year when Fend was leading and then hit the pit lane.
Hey man, I mean, I would love for the Killicks to win, but it's gonna be hard. They're
not gonna win, but I'm gonna pick Berkan to second. You know?
Okay.
because the Killich are really good when it's like this. I think.
Okay. But I still think it's just going to be hard to beat Fenn, Mayfield, Fuller. We're going to see the two brothers go at it. I mean, I hope Caden makes it up there too, but it's also we got two sets of brothers at this.
Caden was seeding round 2 in Pro Buggy. Caden was 6th.
Okay.
Oh no, 7th. So I mean, Caden's right up there.
Man, I tell you, man, don't be surprised at y'all Figueredo, man. I would not sleep on him.
But okay, listen to this. So Fend was 12th in second round seeding.
Okay, well, we are talking about practice.
Wait, Barufalo is here too?
Barufalo is there too.
He didn't do well in practice. Savoya is there too. Savoya is traveling to a lot of races.
A lot of races. Yeah. Well, I think Savoya's going to IBC too. So Jal goes back and Barufalo. They all go back and then they're going to be. And they just raced last weekend. Barufalo was at the warm up too. Hard race to call, but hard to not pick Fend or Mayfield for this one. I would say.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why you're so hyped on Fend on this race. Like,
I mean, I just don't. I think Fend's on just that. Like, he's just confident. Like, when you're confident like that, and your package and everything's good like it is. I'm telling you, man. You see him at these races because I'm seeing him at races, right? So I got to see him. The guy does not look stressed. He does not look stressed at all. It's like, I'm here and I'm here to win. That's how I look. But I really would like to see the Fullers do well, and I would like to see some of the European guys. I want to see the kid Barnard Zach do well. That's what I want to see too.
But here's the thing why I'm so skeptical of Fend.
Oh my gosh. Harry is going to be messaging me next week.
No. It's not actually bad. But I see him as a racer who is he is determined by his pace. You know? If he isn't the fastest guy, he rarely wins. You know? Mayfield is the opposite. He is the guy who clutches a win. You know?
I would agree there.
So Fend is kind of the guy that when he's comfortable, he's unbeatable, you know? But Mayfield's the type of the guy that even on a bad day, he might just win, you know? But Fend is he feels comfortable, you know, very often. And that's why he is so good.
It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard to pick. We'll do this. To all our listeners, in the comments, pick your top 3. There we go. Put it in the YouTube comments and the Facebook comments if you listen to this. All right, Max. What happened?
Figueredo is fast. So I just checked top 5 lap average. Figueredo was in the top 3 in both seeding rounds, and in top 2 consecutive laps, Figueredo was also in the top 3. And that is the only driver who did that in both rounds. Both Killich brothers are up there, and Rivkin is up there. Tessman is up there. Fend is actually up there as well. So, yeah, Mayfield. Did I pick Mayfield for the win? Can I change?
You did. Nope, you can't change.
I'm going to change. No, I'm not change.
Literally just said you can't change.
Mayfield wins. Who did I pick? Berkan second. And, dude, I have to change Berkan. Can I pick Figueredo?
Okay, you can pick Figueredo.
The thing is, I like facts, and when I look at lap times and I see someone being fast, I'm like, hey, I believe in you, you know. And Figueredo,
I don't like facts at all. I like feelings.
Yeah, I don't like
facts, but I like feelings when it comes to racing.
But Figueredo is, if you look at the current, what you call it, current times and results. Figueredo seems like the strongest one.
I agree. I told you he was fast. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets top 3. Wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, but he's bad in mains though. So actually, I'm gonna change back. I'm gonna go with Mayfield, Berkan, and Fuller, Mason.
Okay, I am going Fuller, Fend, Mayfield. Sorry.
Fuller, Fend, Mayfield.
And in my top 5, I have one of the Killicks. No, which one?
Can I just pick a Killick brother for second?
No.
Dang.
I mean, that's hard to
But here's the thing.
Make a decision and stick to it.
Here's the thing, though. next podcast, no one's gonna remember that I picked Berkan. So if it's 1 killage in second, I can just say I picked him for second. You know, no one's gonna make a difference.
I will remember that you picked Berkan. All right. Yeah. All right. Tell us who you guys are picking out.
We're gonna be wrong anyway. You remember that one year I picked Testman out of nowhere to win PMP, and then he fucking did.
He did.
You know, that was my highlight of my pickings. But since then, well, actually, I did pick Mayfield for all the other races, and he did win all the other races that year. So
I can't wait. Yeah. We'll get to see the top 25 rankings as well as the
that's true.
American top 25 rankings after this. All right, let us know who you guys are picking for the win. We're gonna go on to your top 3. Let us know in the YouTube comments or wherever you're listening to this. Don't forget to also hit that sub notification, like or dislike button. Leave a comment, and if you're listening to this on the audio platform, please leave a review. And if you really can, give us a share. Max, we have a little rant. I started some shit, and we're going to talk about it. And this is like where we have to bring up the JQ Racing Rant intro.
Yeah.
We are now at that point of the show where you should fasten those seatbelts and put your big boy pants on.
Whoa. Things are about to get serious.
It's time for the JQ Racing Rant.
Alrighty, we haven't had a JQ Racing Rant in quite some time, but we have one this week, and it kind of stems from SilverState and a post that I made yesterday. And I waited about making this post, and I debated about making this post, and I knew people would think it's about the entries and all this stuff, but it's not. So yesterday I made a post saying that 1,125, whatever the number is, that the entry count at SilverState, which I have no issue with whatsoever, is the new 900. So people might ask, what are you talking about, Lefty? So last week when I was sitting off in Florida, you get this post and you see, SilverState's now capped at 900. I'm like, what? We're a week out from this race and it's being capped at 900. Something just didn't sit right with me. Like, what is this about? Like, this race had 1,100 entries last year almost. Why would they cap it? It processed the entrance last year. So I was sitting around. I couldn't figure it out. And the only thing that kept sticking to my mind was, and I don't know if this is true or not, is that they capped it so they could get people to go out there, sign up and pay. I get that they need to get people to pay. I don't know if this was the case, if they needed people to pay or whatever, but I just found this was odd, like that they capped it at 900. Well, anyway, lo and behold, they go over the cap, that 1,125 entries, which is, I have no fucking problem with that, right? No problem. But I do kind of have a problem with putting up what I call up, and now that whole 900 cap post is gone. It's gone. It disappeared. Luckily, screenshots last forever. And I just thought that this was not cool. Like, I thought this was shady as fuck. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It's like this is how I felt. I felt like they put the cap to get people to rush out and pay, thinking that they weren't going to get the cap. They weren't going to get in for the race, right? So they could generate some extra funds. I don't know why. I don't know why they did it like this. I know you have to get people to pay and all this type of stuff, but I just think I thought it was shady. And I thought, and now the post is gone. That just sends up red flags to me. I have no issue that they went over. If you wanted to cap the race, right? Why not cap it at 1,500? Say, hey, or 1,200. 1,200 is the cutoff. Why? Because people see 1,200 and say, oh, that's what it was about last year. They're not going to get 12. I still have time. But when you put it at 900, people rush out and say, oh, let me hurry up and sign up. How do you make something more valuable? By limiting it, by saying it's going to be limited. It makes it more valuable. And to me, that's what I think they did at this. Now, is it the worst thing in the world? Is it anything like that? No, it's not. But I think it's misleading, and I think it's dishonest. That's my honest, if why they did it. And I feel that way. I don't give a fuck that they went over the cap. I don't give a fuck. I knew that was going to happen anyway. What I give a fuck about is misleading people that you're going to have a cap and you're never really going to have it. Are you there, Max?
I'm here. Here's the thing. I think what you're doing, you just put a aluminum foil hat on, look at the sky, and you see a huge conspiracy with this. You know what I think actually happened? Joe is having a beer, and he was like, holy shit, I don't know if we have enough time, like we're going to go all night with this. There's curfews and shit.
There's no curfew.
Okay, curfew gone. He was like having a beer, thinking like, "What the fuck do we do?" Like, I don't know. I'll just post on Facebook like, "Hey, like we're gonna cap it." And then he was thinking to himself like, "Oh my god, like where should we cap it?" And he's like, "Well, 900 is an even number. That's a nice one." So he's like, "Let's put it at 900. Everyone can run 3 classes. We get 300 people." And then he posted it. And then everyone fucking signed up, and he was like, "Oh shit, what do I do now? Like, I kind of want the money. Like, what is it? Like, yeah, that's 20K extra money. Should I take it? Should I not take it? And obviously he was like, yeah, I'm gonna take it." And what he did, deleted it post. That's it. And then you come there stirring shit, writing on the wall. There's some fucking conspiracy. And all what happened was Joey at his home was drinking a beer and thinking some thoughts,
Okay, so if you believe that, I have some waterfront property in the desert to sell you. I don't think it's as conspiracy as a tin hat thing, because let me tell you something. I had several people message me after that post and say the exact same thing, because everybody that I talked to thought that it was odd, and they thought he did it to jack up and do this. He damn well knows that it's going to be more than 900 people. 900. Oh shit! I must say people. 900 entries, right? He knows it. If you're going to cap it at 1,200. So here's something that I'm telling you, man. I have many. When I post that, a few people was like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right." That's exactly how I felt. Everyone that I was with and saw that post exactly felt the same way. Hey, I don't know why he did it. I don't know. But this is what I feel. And a lot of people do feel like that. It's over. It's done. It doesn't matter. He's still got his interest up. My post is not about his interest. I don't care. I understand that he has to make the money to pay. I'm sure that this race is expensive. I know he has to make his money. And the point of this is to make money, right? I have no issue with that. None whatsoever. So it's not about that. It's nothing about that. But I don't like the misleading part. And I think that was dishonest. Or I shouldn't say dishonest. I think it was shady, right? I think it was shady. Yeah. And look, Joey has this race. He don't need to do stuff like that. This race is going to be, like, we all know people don't pay for races right away. They're not going to pay right away. They're going to pay when they get there, right? There might be people that decide to come on the day, like that live in Vegas or whatever. But I'm glad I'm not the only one that felt like this, because many people messaged me and said, "Yep, Keenan, that's exactly what I thought." And this is no disrespect to Joey. This is no disrespect to the race. This has nothing to do with none of that stuff. It's called, hey, man, I thought that was misleading business practice. Because if you're going to cap it, last year. So one thing I give Dave respect for at PNB this year, right? So PNB last year had that 1,000+ entrants, and they had to go to the 2 qualifiers, right? This year, you know what Dave done? He capped it at 1,200. It had a cap, like on the he didn't announce it, but it had a cap 1,200 on the sign up, because that was the number that they had to cut it off with. They said 1,200 is the most we can have, right? He also advertised 2 qualifiers. So people knew coming into it that it wasn't going to be 3 qualifiers, it was going to be 2 qualifiers. So they made the decision. And you know what? He got 100 and something less entries this year because of that. So he lost on the long run, but at least he was honest. And that's why I think that this happened, because they knew that, look, obviously they're probably going to, I don't know how many qualifiers are they set to have today. I don't know. I get it. Like, getting through all those people, it's hard. I get it. But if you want the interest, that's what's going to happen. You got to put in the work. And if people can complain about not getting runtime and all that type of stuff, I'm fine with that. But going in that there's 1,000 entrants at this race. So how can you complain about that? So I'm just saying, while I don't really care too much. I don't care about the entrance. I know a lot of people's like, oh, you're just pissing a man on about. Look, I don't care. The man needs to make his money. It could be 2,000 entries at this race. I do not care. Well, I just don't like I just thought that was shady. If it sends up red flags, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's got to be a duck. Right?
Yeah, but
I just could not see the reasoning for doing that. Maybe what you said was true. Maybe, but I just don't see that. And then why delete the post? Why do all of that stuff?
Well, because he saw it was a mistake. I think here's the thing. I don't think he was like, oh, this is the way I'm gonna get more money or more people to sign up. I think he was just like, hey, we should cap it for.
I don't think it was about getting more money.
Yeah, but I think
I don't think it was about getting more money. I think it was about getting an influx of money in, real quick.
Maybe, but I don't know. But I just think he didn't think it through.
If you need to do that, don't do it like that. Say, hey guys, we need you to come out. We need you to sign up. If you don't sign up, we can't guarantee you a pit spot or something like that. And that's how it should be from the get go. Hey, if you sign up early, you get a pit spot or whatever.
But I think
don't put a fake
think he
cap.
just didn't. I think he just didn't think it through. No, but I don't think he was like, oh, like we want people to sign up, and that's what we're gonna do.
So you do that. So hold on. If you're gonna cap a race, you don't cap it the week before the race is supposed to happen.
I think what he thought was he wanted to get like 2 practice rounds and end every day at 8, and then somebody said, hey, whatever the time is, like just an example, like, and then somebody said, hey, we can't have more than this many people, and then he was like, shit, should we cap it? And then he just made the post and capped it, and then he realized we got fucking 200 more entries, and then he was like, oh well, I'll take the money.
No, he should take the money, but I just think that I don't think it was about getting more entries. I think it was about getting something real quick. I might be wrong. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
If that's my gut feeling. As soon as I saw that post, I'm like, this race is capped a week before you cap a race when you start it, right? When you say, oh, this race is gonna be capped. This race is gonna be capped on 1,000 entries. That's all. You do that from the beginning. That's how I say it. You don't do it a week out. And if people don't think something's wrong and shady with that, you guys need to put on the tinfoil hats. You need a tin hat, Max. You need a tinfoil hat.
No, but here's the thing. I just think he didn't think it through. Like he had some silly idea, like, "Hey, I want the days to last this long."
But also, all of a sudden, the computer breaks, the website breaks down. Come on, we've heard this before.
I don't know. I just don't see him. I don't see Joey as a guy who was like, "Oh, I need money fast, so I'm gonna lure." Like hundreds of people to give me money now because
they were going to give him money anyway. They want to give him money anyway.
Yeah,
They were going to give it to him anyway.
Yeah,
they were going to give it to these people. Were going no matter what.
That's why I don't think like it was a huge like 3D chess play of Joey to do that.
All right.
I think he was just like he got in his mind that for some reason they needed not more than 900 entries. And then he realized that, holy shit, we have a fucking 1,100 entries. And then he was like, well, I just got to cancel it,
Okay. All right.
And one fun fact is there's 100 more entries this year, but almost the exact amount of
only 22 more people.
Yeah.
So
that's not the right way, guys. That's the wrong way, guys.
I agree. I will reiterate. I have nothing against the entry count. I understand that this is an expensive race. He has to make his money. I understand that the higher the entries go, the less run time you get. And I think everybody that attends this race knows that too. So I'm not worried about that. But hey man, when I saw that, it set off red flags for me. And not just me, many others. And I think I don't think that's right. If that was it. We'll never know because there'll never be a minute. But I find it very funny that people have been commenting on my poster that are at the race, and they all don't. I blatantly put. Let me reiterate, my problem is not with the number of entries. My problem is what happened last week with the cap and all that stuff. That's it. I think it was a fake cap to get an influx of money. Probably needed to pay something. I don't know. Could be wrong. And he got it. And then it's like, okay, we're going back to where we got as many entries as possible. Nothing. It's nothing wrong with having as many entries as possible, but it's something wrong with misleading people that you think you're not going to get in. That's what I like.
I just think that's so far.
You think it's, dude, this is RC. There's nothing that would surprise me that happens in RC.
Really?
Not one thing. Dude, I'm heard crazier stuff.
I think you keep Joey at a too high of a level here. There's no way.
If Dave would have done something like this, if I talk to if Dave would have done something like this, people would have crucified him.
Here's the thing. I see Dave as a smart businessman, you know? I see Joey as a fucking dude who likes building RC tracks and hanging out with his friends. You know? That's the Dave. If Dave did this, I would actually believe, because Dave's a smart guy, you know? I know, and he knows what he's doing, you know? That's why I try to, you know, force him to do the things I want, because I know he understands it. I
don't know, man. It just feels shady to me. It just feels shady. It's not, I don't think it's like the end of the world. I just think it's shady.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do agree. One thing you said about PMB is that I don't think he got less entries this year because he said there's going to be 2 qualifiers. I think he got less entries because last year it went to 2 qualifiers.
Right, but this year
I don't think the issue of getting less entries was that he was being honest. It was that because of the entry count, it went to 2 qualifiers. So last year they were proportionally too many people, and they wouldn't have showed up this year because they know from last year that it goes to 2 qualifiers.
Right, I agree with that. But he advertised that there's going to be 2 qualifiers. Okay?
I know, that's
the first thing.
The only thing I wanted to say that I don't think in the long run it's hurting your business, to be honest. Okay, that's my take on it.
I could be completely wrong and you could be right. We'll never know the answer. But I will tell you this. I am not the only one that thought this.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, anyway,
it doesn't matter. He's made his money. Joey needs to make his money. All the work that is put in there. Well, you know what he can do? He can hire people to water instead of offering free entrance for people to water. There we go. That was silly. Hey, you want to volunteer to water? We'll give you free entrance. Yeah, I got to water the track all weekend for like $100. When you at least, hey, one thing I'll say about Dave, he pays all his people that come to work for him. Yeah,
I think like Toothless Tom watering the track at DNC, shit like that. Like, I gotta say, that's not the type of events like Dave would ever put. So that's one.
No, but Dave has his watering crew. He has all them guys who do.
Yeah, I know. Dave
pays all his guys to do. And I'm not saying that Joey doesn't pay his guys, but you saw the hey, we need a couple of guys to water. Hey man, go out and pay somebody to water. It's important. Like, but they don't really realize is that important is that anyway. That doesn't take that. I'm not going to enjoy the race. I am. I'm happy that it's going on. I'm happy that it has a level competition going on there. I'm happy that it's making his money because we want to see the race continue. I just felt it was shady. That's it. Nothing wrong. Yeah. I'm probably not welcome. I wasn't welcome at his races prior. I wasn't very much welcome at his races prior to this. Probably not welcome now. And a lot of people ask me why I didn't go SilverState this year. I could have been SilverState. I chose not to. Not because I just didn't want to go this year. That's it. Yeah. Nothing else. It wasn't on my, I wasn't planning. I've been twice. I enjoyed it. The whole thing, I'm not a gambler. I'm not a partier. I'm not all that stuff. So the whole thing of Vegas doesn't appeal to me. That's fine. I go there for the RC race. I didn't want to go this year. Probably never going to be able to go. So that's fine with me. I don't care about the entrance. I don't care about any of that stuff, but I care about misleading people. And I felt that was misleading. That's all.
Yeah, and actually, like, I do agree what he did was shitty. I just don't think he did it whole conspiracy shit.
You think he just did it because it was just?
I think he was just fucking careless and.
Well, you know what? I always heard JQ and Dany say the same thing. Once you just got your money, that's it. And I always thought they were just hard on him. But after this year and some of the stories I heard from DNC, I have to believe it.
Yeah.
And after this, I have to believe it. No, don't take me wrong. He has 2 of the most prestigious events in the world.
In America.
Not wrong with that. Not wrong. I'm not taking that away from him. Not taking that away from him at all. And he's built that prestige over the many years that he's done this. But I felt that this should have just been handled better. That's my fault. That's my thinking on this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know a lot of people may not agree with me. May agree with Max. You may think we're all crazy. You may think we're picking on Joey, but that's not the case. I just see something, and I think that if it sends out red flags to me, I've been doing this for too long now. Then I've been involved in this industry for a little bit too long now to not think this way. And nothing in this industry surprises me. Not one thing. Not one thing. This isn't normal business. This is different. RC is different.
Yeah.
Anyway, Max, you know what? We forgot to do our hot laps, and we're going to do them real quick. I have 3 questions for you. This is the Hot Race Hot Lap segment, brought to you by Hot Race Tires. We don't have a video for this, but we do have a nice hat. Thank you to Nicola for all the support. And Max, the first thing I have to ask you about Hot Race Hot Laps is Philippine Masters.
Cool track.
3 words. Okay, I'll let you go over 3 words now.
Hot.
5.
Yeah, hot and humid.
Well, it is the Philippines.
Yeah.
Davide Ongaro.
Closing in on GOAT.
Okay. IBC next week.
Probably biggest race in Europe this year.
Okay.
Gonna be like the European Talent Showdown.
Okay.
That's your 3 words.
SilverState 2023.
Interesting.
Okay.
I have nothing else about that.
All right. So ask me a few, and then we'll go. You don't have any for me.
I do have, actually.
Okay.
Favorite off-road surface? You got to name 3 qualities.
3 qualities? I don't know, man.
Or off-road track. No.
I was gonna just name a track that I like. I don't know if I can name the qualities. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I like that Southeast clay.
I do like that too.
I like that Southeast clay and the way the tracks come up there.
Yellow or white wheels?
Black wheels.
Black wheels? Wow, you're crazy. I was gonna ask you E-Chuggy or Nitro Chuggy, but I know he's gonna go E-Chuggy, you know.
In this case, I definitely am picking E-Chuggy.
Yeah.
With Nitro's buggy sounds. Ring ring.
I should have one more.
You should.
One race you wanna go to this year that you don't know that you're going to yet.
I like to go to the Euros.
Euros?
Yeah.
Okay. How about 10 scale worlds?
I would love to go to the 10 scale worlds.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I would love to go.
Yeah. I didn't have anything planned, so
that's the whole. I didn't plan anything either. But thank you to Hot Race Tires for all their support. Just joined us as a sponsor. We greatly appreciate it. Max, thank you for all your time. We had a good time catching up here for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Thank you all that support the NNRC that came up and showed me some love on my tour. Thank you to Lance and Dany for getting me there. Thank you to the Florida RC community and the entire Southeast community that I really enjoy going to the Southeast. I got to see a different part of it up there in beautiful Tiger, Georgia. It was absolutely beautiful, I must admit. And just thank you to everybody around the world that shows us some love. Congratulations to everybody that pulled off the Philippine Masters. Good luck to everybody at SilverState. We're looking forward to seeing that. I look forward to seeing and meeting new people over there in Portugal next week. Hopefully Coelho won't be too mad at me. And, even though I understand why he's angry. Shout out to everybody that supports us, man. We really can't do this without you guys. Everybody out there rocking our decals, rocking our shirts, man. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, I still am very humbled by these experiences, and it means a lot to me. And honestly, we can't do this without you. So thank you to everybody out there. It helps us. And I mean that. I truly do mean that. Thank you to BJ for all his help with the notes. They're going pretty good. I know he's going to be geeking out on SilverState. Check out his GoFundMe, and it will be in the link of the written description. Shout out to the NNRC patrons. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys get early release of this podcast. Also to the YouTube members. And thank you to all of these awesome sponsors that do support the podcast. They are Invisible Speed, High Tech RC, Sunpadal USA, Sidewinder Fuel, Mayako, Beach RC, Hot Race Tires, Techno RC, Clinic RC, Ignite Design RC, Racecraft USA. Shout out to WRCE, House of RC. Shout out to our drivers, David Runafalk, Jared T-Bill, Robert Betty, and Alexander Hagberg. You all out there that listen, have a safe weekend. If you're at Vegas, drink water, not just alcohol, because, it's hot out there. And make sure you get properly hydrated with alcohol and properly hydrated with water. Have a good time. We look forward to watching the racing. Good luck to everybody. Nitro is the glory. Ebuggy pays the bills. Max, you got anything to say before we sign out, good buddy?
Join the Discord and ask me questions there. I enjoy them.
There we go. Join the NNRC Discord, which I'm surprised hasn't been shut down. And yeah, hey, we love RC. We geek out on this stuff. We thank you for the support. Lefty and Max, we're out. We're done. See you later.
Goodbye.
Virtual salute by Max.